Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And welcome to the show where we wax poetic about the movies we see on a month-to-month basis. It's time to crack open our... Oh, wow, it's a particularly heavy one this month. Movie Memoirs! Dragon, there's actually movies to talk about this month. Fucking hallelujah!
Woo!
I don't know, guys. I don't want to get too optimistic here. You know, I'm in California. There's no movie theaters anywhere near me that are close to opening. As far as I'm concerned, Tenet is just going to have to remain an enigma for me for the time being, unfortunately. How you doing on the Tenet front, Dragon?
Oh, it's probably more grave than yours. I'm sure.
Is it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Nah, dude, there's nothing. San Diego is the closest.
I keep hearing that everyone's...
the other side of the state.
I keep hearing that the movies are open. If the movies are opening, yeah, well, why aren't they open near me? You know, it's just like... It's every time I'm
saying, like, for me, it's like, it's not even anywhere in Northern California. Like, I'd be willing to make a road trip out of it, but no.
I'm just saying, the thing is just bugging me is that everyone keeps teasing. Of course, your big line critics, like your Jeremy Johns and everything, they get to see the movies. We don't.
That drives me crazy, but we'll...
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, right now it's passable because Tenet's been talked up so much. I want to see it, but by the same token, it's like... That was the one that was, if that one already is just going the whole international route, it's like the one that's really going to get under my skin is once we get into Wonder Woman and Black Widow. That's what's going to drive me insane if it comes to that. And I'm not going to be able to see those. And
honestly, Tenet is driving me more insane than either of those will. So I guess.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd like to see 10 a lot more than I'd like to see New Mutants. But you see my point. It's going to get worse as it goes on.
Can I just say for the record, I find it kind of offensive how many YouTube critics went out of their way to risk their lives to see New Mutants.
Even one of our beloved pals at I don't know what he was thinking. Yeah, he has children. I don't know what he was thinking on that one.
No disrespect, but you know.
No, of course we love it. That's what I'm saying. We care. That's why I'm saying that because
right.
I don't want to read any unfortunate news after New Mutants. Like that'd be horrible.
That'd just be like the ultimate. Anyways,
by the way, terrible.
I just want to shout out happy birthday, Claude. Happy birthday in the comments there. Yes, Claude, Mulan 2020 came on Disney Plus today. What of it? Claude, that's going to be my reaction to Mulan 2020 for the time.
Are you going to watch that for next week? Okay. That's. I'm not blaming you. I'm just asking.
I'm not paying $30, Dragon. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm not doing it either. That's why I'm asking. I ain't doing it.
You know, if the word on the street about Mulan 2020 was like, oh my God, guys, it's like Disney finally did it. They finally broke the fucking mold and came out with something that's genuinely great in the live action remake department, then I'd check it out. Then I'd have to check it out if the word
so far crickets. So far.
No, so far it's less than crickets, Dragon.
It's
so
crickets
far,
thoughts, to quote Brad Garrett. It's
no. What I'm saying is so far it's like crickets would be better than what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is that it's just yet another mess, essentially. Right. But anyways. Likewise. Sorry, Claude. I don't mean to rain all over your enthusiasm. If you're looking forward to it, by all means.
I'll tell you one thing real quick. It's probably not going to talk about it next month. Is that I hear the third act. I hear the third act's good, which isn't. It might
is
be.
That what you hear? I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I've heard the third act. I heard the third act is when the movie actually gets good. Like they did like a reworking of the third act. That sounds kind of cool. But
I heard something they did with the Emperor that just sounded really stupid.
Well, again, I'm blind on this. So let's talk about the things we do know about.
All right. But Claude, by all means, if I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts on Mulan. If you want to send them to me on Twitter or something, if you do plan on watching it. All right, so let's get to the news, and of course, we have to bring something up the top. We're not gonna dwell on it too long, folks, because I feel like it's been what, Dragon, like a week since it happened.
I mean, I think we're still within kind of the I guess like week or so, if not just the 8-week total has passed yet.
Mm-hmm. So we're not going to dwell on it too long, but of course we have to address the death of Chadwick Boseman. And Dragon, I said it on our In Memoriam podcast, and I'm feeling it even more now. The fact that before Chadwick Boseman, unfortunately, tragically passed away, he was like just barely on the periphery of my pop culture lens. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, Black Panther. He's a cool guy, that Black Panther. That was about it for my Chadwick Boseman appreciation. You know what I mean? And I gotta say, if I'm feeling this, if I'm feeling so like it's been days, and I'm genuinely kind of shaken up about it. Dragon, I'm gonna emphasize this again. I can't even imagine what what African American kids who maybe grew up watching Black Panther in theaters, or just anyone in that community who finds Chadwick to be a hero. I can't imagine. It must be like
Again, you
losing
got
a family member.
again, like the Black Panther's impact again, not just for the fact that it was very very big for for African Americans, but it was it was kind of like the Christopher Reeve Superman effect, and that a movie that big that connected to so many people. Again, that was not it. It was just plainly it was a good movie, and then beyond that, it was this huge touchstone, and that it was the first Black hero being represented so perfectly on screen, for that character who he was, and that was just. I'm saying that's huge, and of course it's a huge loss for that reason. What's so inspiring? We talked up already during the during our when we took time to really kind of go through the Chadwick Boseman loss.
Yeah,
it's again the man suffered in silence for 4 years and did some of the biggest and best works with his dream role that he had while he was suffering, while he was just kind of suffering in silence. I mean that's something heroic, and that's why the Christopher Reeve comparison, the Black Panther. I've always kind of had that with that, but it's gotten even more stronger and more kind of connected to that because Christopher, of course, became a symbol in life towards the end, as did Chadwick Boseman. Men not long for this earth, kind of having kind of this huge monolithic impact. It's just yet another shocking death of an inspiring figure. It's sad.
I'm gonna go as far as to say that podcast that we recorded for him, not in any negative way at all, but it was like the hardest podcast I've ever had to record, man. That was a rough one. Just trying to collectively like give my thoughts and and Dragon. I emphasize we always joke about this, but it's true. We are like some of the whitest men on YouTube. So
yeah, we're David Hyde Pierce skiing, folks. That's the truth.
So like I said, if I'm torn up about it, it's just a nationwide tragedy, and I genuinely think. I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to make it a competition or anything, but I genuinely think this is probably the most, the most widely felt, like on a global scale, the most widely felt and most tragic celebrity death since Robin Williams.
Yep.
So, all right,
it's sad stuff, kids. Again, we're gonna start with all the bad news, as you probably gather with the Chadwick Boseman affair. Some more bad news. Robert Pattinson is sick, kids. He's gotten the.
Where to start with this, Dragon? What the fuck is up with this Batman movie?
Here's the thing: we get tantalized with the hope of the Batman trailer, and then we get news like this. And here's the thing: here's my takeaway, by the way, with the whole Pattinson thing. One, of course, I hope he's going to be okay, because again, I know some people like The Rock also got it recently. He revealed that he and his family got it, and he did the fandom as well, which surprises me. So again, he must have done that from home while with the virus, assumedly. Anyway, so he and the point being, if Robert Pattinson, who again, I believe they're in New Zealand or something, shooting the Batman. If he's all the way in New Zealand, where people have been greenlit to kind of slowly get back into the swing of things, filming stuff, because reportedly it's safe because it's far away from us here at the old U.S. That does not instill me with confidence in how we're moving forward. We're like, hey, we're getting back to shooting things in our TV shows and everything. We're in Canada and New Zealand.
I'm to the point now with COVID where it's like I like comfortable is not an option for me. I will not get comfortable.
That's what I'm saying. Is if they're not, if they're not safe over there right now, that fills me with a lot of dread, and again, a lot of doubts going forward. Like, oh boy, this is not going to be as smooth as I think we had hoped it would be. Just like, hey, let's shoot overseas. Well, there's going to be some devastating bumps in that road. And again, hopefully everyone's going to. I hear he's not the only one who got sick. I hope the guy Jeffrey Wright's okay, because he might be more at risk. I don't know, but just Pattinson, everybody, I hope they're going to be okay and recover. The Rock, it sounds like The Rock is pretty much recovered, that he and his family got it and they recovered. So that's a good sign. At least I hear they're in good shape. So I don't know. But then again, he's The Rock. He's like, I don't know. He's the anti-kryptonite, I don't have to tell you. Okay.
All right.
More bad news.
Oh, God. You take the lead on this one.
So the bad news gets a little bit more. It's a little bit more levity as it goes on, folks. But still bad. Just again,
This isn't a nationwide tragedy here, although it should be.
Yeah, we're kind of shifting here to get to like the lighter news. Okay, so Powerpuff Girls. It's getting a live action. Wait for it. CW show.
I'm willing to wait for it. My thoughts on this is like I think there's only one way you could have made this work, and that's by going the Stranger Things route with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to do that. They're not.
I heard the premise. I heard the premise is. Did you hear the premise yet?
No, but I assume it's Powerpuff Girls meets Riverdale.
Well, pretty much. I mean, they haven't used the comparison we're all thinking of with that, but they've said Powerpuff Girls. From what I heard, and I heard it talked up. Well, I think I read an article with supporting this too. Is that it's them? I think they're all 20 years old, and they've come back to Townsville since. Like,
Okay, you know what? You know what? I will give them a pass on that. At least they're not high schoolers.
Yeah.
At least they're not high schoolers, Dragon.
That's what it sounds like from the premise. Like they're 20 years old and they're coming back to Townsville. So it's.
I mean, if it's a coming back story, I think they should be older than 20 years old. It's like, oh, we just graduated high school and now we were on a fucking an 18-month trip abroad and now we're back. I mean, it's like that's like nothing in terms of time passing. But whatever. I'm glad that we don't have the usual high school dynamics.
Sure. And again, I'm starting to kind of when you make them like 20 years old, it's like, why is it Powerpuff Girls again? It's more like Powerpuff Women at this point. What's the deal?
I don't know. There's going to be social commentary.
Okay, now important thing to note here. No one's talking about that we should mention. Okay, they have said I don't think it's been greenlit for a series. They're making a pilot, so we're going to see if the pilot clears. Because right now the Arrow spinoff had a pilot in the works, which they did their little backdoor pilot with an Arrow, and I forget if they're working on like another sort of like proof of concept thing. So the point being. Especially with the production stuff going on these days, I don't think it's an absolute certainty. I have to think that network execs are going to be smart enough to watch the pilot and say, we're going to get a lot of backlash. I don't think we should do this.
Right.
I don't mean just like backlash and that everything gets back. I mean, we're going to get a lot of backlash on this.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Speaking of backlash.
Oh, boy. Oh, God.
This one really is devastating news here. So this is I mean, compared to Powerpuff Girls is like Levy. Oh God, that's going to be a disaster.
You know what? Really. I mean, like if it cancels the Netflix project entirely, then it might not be so bad.
Yeah, but so far, I don't know they're walking away from it. Okay, so the news is the Avatar creators, Brian Konietzko and Mike DiMartino, lovely guys, fantastic, very good creative gentlemen. These guys. A dynamic duo of animation. They're leaving the Netflix readaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. They're like not the movie, but they're trying to do a little bit. Seemingly, they're supposed to do a little bit more faithfully and a little bit more accurately on Netflix in live action. And the creators were involved, which is a huge difference from the Shyamalan film, in which they were just kind of there, like in face value, and then kind of spoke out saying, "Yeah, they just kind of stopped listening to us and our input, and they just kind of made their own thing." And it seems history has repeated itself, where the creators just were kind of there for face value, and they just kind of left because, yeah, this is not turning it. We don't want to be associated with this. We want people to know we're not associated with this thing, so we're out of here. Mm-hmm. Pretty much. I mean, they've been as nice as you can be about that too. Or give the guys points there. Like they're not just saying it's gonna be crap. It's just, it's not our show. We don't want a repeat of what happened last time, so we're out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my whole thing is like I genuinely don't think this should have happened to begin with, even with them involved.
I'm saying that had the best chance it ever had was that way, but yeah, of course. Why can't we just accept animation? Why do we always go like we gotta see it in real life?
Well, my whole thing though is that the Avatar world is it's got so much potential. Why just retell The Last Airbender? That's my thing. I don't mind seeing the live action stuff. Because I do genuinely think that it could be a world that would look really cool in live action if you did it right.
Yeah, here's an idea. We do a live action Kyoshi show.
Or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Or, or a live action book 4 or a live action, like prequel to Last Airbender or something like that. I just don't need Last Airbender remade for the second time.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you remake, like the only thing you could really do is maybe shorten the first season to the good parts, and
Uh,
that's about all you can really do in the re-adaptation. Otherwise, just you got to try to glean, the
it's
perfection of
perfect.
season two.
There's no way they can top. There's no way they can top Last Airbender, the original. There's just no way. It's a fool's errand.
Exactly. So it's anyway. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, so other show news. Claude brings up the Fresh Prince. I heard about this too. I forget if it's going to be on HBO Max or what, but they're doing a remake of Fresh Prince of Bel Air. It's getting rebooted as a drama.
Huh. I
I think it's kind of
Not
I
sure
think
how I
people are.
feel about that.
I think there's kind of misinterpreting what the Fresh Prince was all about, where it was
I
a
mean,
show that had these
I
great.
know it had a couple sentimental moments here and there, and that's all well and good,
It
but
had a few standout dramatic moments, and that's what made it
right.
extra special. Is that it was a comedy, but again, a comedy that also had these great dramatic moments. If we just flip flop, it's like I don't know if that's really. I think they're kind of missing the point there. That's just me.
Odd. Okay,
Yeah.
anyways.
Speaking of odd,
Yes. Oh boy. All right. So Patrick Starr is getting a talk show, ladies and gentlemen.
wait, it's
What's
a
up with
talk
that?
show?
Yes, you didn't know that?
No, I know I did. I just thought I didn't know it was a talk show. I thought it was just
Breaking
getting like
news, Dragon, it's a talk show. Yes.
they're just ripping off Elmo, man. That's
Yeah,
not cool.
exactly. Exactly. There's not even much to say about it at that point.
I mean, what are they trying to?
I love
It
that this
sounds
is
like
news to you.
it just sounds like an inferior version of the Larry Sanders Show, but Patrick Starr and the Larry and kind of your vaguely incompetent kind of talk show host.
Pretty much.
It's just, or I get maybe Glick is like, what was it? The Martin Short kid, the Jiminy Glick
Jiminy
character. I
Glick,
guess
yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Anyway, the point that might be the
That
more
was a
apt
weird
comparison.
ass movie, man. Have you ever seen that movie?
I've seen I don't think I've seen it all the way through. I saw clips
Oh,
from it.
it's a weird watch.
That's what I'm saying. It was so weird. That's why I didn't really feel compelled. Anyway, okay, so Patrick Star getting the shows, getting a spinoff in general. Here's the thing: I don't think it's as egregious as it would have been a couple years back, where it's like, oh my god, we've ruined the Patrick Star character, and we're doing more with this guy. I hear SpongeBob's been a little bit on the healing path, so maybe it's not going to be all bad. But it sounds like, why are we doing this?
Because we've got to have money.
Pretty much.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay,
All right.
finally, on to some good news.
All right, so DC fandom. So we already did a full podcast on the Batman trailer.
Yeah.
I'm not as over the moon excited about it as other people are, but I'm excited about it for sure. The thing that excites me the most about it is the whole 7 with Batman and Gordon as the Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and Riddler as John Doe. Riddler as John Doe especially is like an inspired thing to do with that character, and I'm stoked for that. I hope they can actually pull it off, and I hope it lives up to the potential that it has. But go ahead.
So, well, the fandom overall, I thought maybe we could start there because I mean, you saw the fandom in the aftermath, right? You weren't there during the live.
Unfortunately, I have only watched the trailer, so I have not gotten a chance to see any of the panels or anything like that.
Well, I hear most of them are online, so you might be able to actually watch all of them. If not,
I'm a busy man, Dragon.
Right, of course. Anyway, anyways,
I'm sorry.
Okay. No, seriously. DC fandom, just so you know, just to tell you how it went. It was simple. It was a simple and rousing success. Basically, it was just
It was basically what Comic-Con should have been. Like, Comic-Con needs to take notes.
Pretty much, they had like a 24-hour stream. So basically, from like
God willing, Comic-Con has to take notes for 2021. Am I right? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I know they were they were trying to sell like a contest to sell tickets to a physical Comic-Con.
I mean, we'll get to 2021 like release date stuff soon, where it's like, are you sure, guys? Are you sure? Anyways, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Anyway, so again, compared to the San Diego Comic-Con, it was a rousing success because they kept it simple. It was basically from like 1 to 9. They had like they played all the trailers and the panels and everything. It was like a live stream. So they just played, and then they repeated it on a loop. They did like encores from the rest of the day for 24 hours, for the 9 or so hours, however long it was, just a couple times. It's pretty simple. I'll admit they're doing the second part of the fandom. It's coming back up this month, the 12th. This coming not tomorrow, but next Saturday. It's going to be a little more tricky, though. I don't know how it's going to go because it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be like a 24-hour stream. It's going to be like the more interactive thing. You can walk around this digital Comic Con. So I'm not sure how that's going to go, but fingers crossed. I mean, the first one went really well.
Okay.
I don't know. The point being, just keep your eyes peeled if you can. Again, 24 hours, maybe you'll be able to look around some stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so other stuff in the fandom.
Yeah. So Suicide Squad. Dragon, I don't want to get too optimistic about it just because the first Suicide Squad had a lot of potential and it ended up being such a mess. But James Gunn is James Gunn, and he seems super excited about it. And I will say I do really like this cast of characters. I think it's a very eclectic mix. You know, you got like the the heavy hitters who we've been really wanting to see, like King Shark. You've got the returning play. The Idris Elba thing bugs me. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, at least they made him a cool character, though. I mean, it wasn't just like it wasn't like completely arbitrary. You know,
No, I'm just saying the recast.
Well, no, he's not. He's not Deadshot.
Oh, he's not Deadshot? Oh.
No, he's not. That's like people thought he was, and I don't know. I can't get a ruling on if that was like something James Gunn did, or because James Gunn probably went for like an actual character versus just
I could have sworn he was Deadshot. My bad. I wasn't paying enough attention in the roll call.
One thing here's really cool though. He's playing Bloodsport. Now, Bloodsport's a super. And like the cool thing they kind of talked up in their panels, like James Gunn kind of said, what's so cool about Bloodsport? The man who shot Superman. That's why he's in prison during the beginning of the movie.
All right. So we've got the returning favorites like Harley and Boomerang,
and Harley in a cool costume this time.
Yeah, and then of course we've got like the characters that I'm really excited to see, which are the what the fuck choices.
Oh yeah,
the polka dot bands and the weasels.
You've seen a lot of the Smolchin.
Right. What do you know about this weasel character?
I don't know a whole lot. I know James Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn, he's playing Weasel. They're doing like a practical, it's like mostly practical, maybe a little like CG enhanced, but he's predominantly it's Sean Gunn in the costume.
That's fucking bonkers.
And Polka Dot Man though, that's really awesome. That's like one of the
Polka Dot Man I've been hearing a lot of hype about.
Polka Dot Man's going to be he's the one I'm most excited for. I mean, on the whole, I'm a sucker for the Suicide Squad. I've always loved like the Dirty Dozen with supervillains pitch. Like, even in the worst iterations of the Suicide Squad, there's like a little bit of that cool factor. Even the one that we got in 2016.
A little bit.
Plot was not great. The Joker stuff obviously was a misfire. But again, like core concept.
What's my favorite moment going to be? Well, let's see. The moment where Croc gets on all fours and goes into the sewer is pretty cool, I guess.
You see my point, though. Like there's again the core concept usually works. Again, best case of it working, Assault on Arkham, fantastic.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, so I'm always sold on the Suicide Squad and James Gunn's sensibilities. He loves the deep cuts comics of it all. Hence, I mean, here's the thing that elated my heart with James Gunn: Ratcatcher 2.
Right.
2. As in, the emphasis on the 2. He's very excited about. And here's the other coolest thing: is that he's basically continuing Ostrand, the guy who did the Suicide Squad, 30 years later. That's like the really cool thing he touted off the making of stuff. It's like basically he's doing kind of a sequel to that run, but kind of updated for. It's like it feels like it's from the 70s. The movie's supposed to be.
Yeah. Nice.
Anyway, so. It's gonna be really. It's the one I'm most excited for in 2020. I think 2021 is gonna be DC's year, and I'm eager for.
Speaking of which, are we really sure we're actually gonna get this in 2021, my friend? I don't mean to be pessimistic, but
no, he shot on this one.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay.
I'm saying, of course, it's a question of the whole release thing, but I'm saying,
that's mostly what I'm saying. Yeah,
this is supposed to be out August of next year. I mean, and he shot it. I'm pretty sure he shot all of it.
Okay, cool. I'm just saying the in theaters thing is still like, me living in California. That's still like movie theaters. What are those? But anyway,
my hopes hang on the Suicide Squad movie. I'm very eager for it. Okay.
Dragon, if you don't mind, I want to go through a couple bits that Claude has before we get to more stuff. Okay, so Claude says the Animaniacs reboot will premiere on November 20th on Hulu. That's cool. I don't know if we'll be covering it. Like I'm hoping that it'll be good enough to do an episode by episode recap on like we did for Muppets Now. But I genuinely don't know if it will be. And honestly, Muppets now doing episode by episode kind of feels like a wasted time in retrospect. So we'll see. Close Enough will be coming back for season 2. Claude, I still need to see Close Enough. The only reason why I have not watched it yet is that I worry that it'll hit a little too close to home with me, because I am I am 29 going on 30. I am not in a relationship, and I have not been for a long time, and I don't know, that show just feels like it's it's about adults in relationships, and I feel like I would you get my drift. I don't know. I'm worried it would put me in a bad mindset. But Pinky and the Brain will be returning as a brand new reboot as well. That's cool. Although I think with Pinky and the Brain, they should maybe start as as an Animaniacs segment, and then if the Animaniacs if the Animaniacs reboot goes over well, then spin them off. But I don't know. We'll see. Anyways. Oh yes, and Earth to Ned Dragon. I need to check out Earth to Ned. I definitely intend to check that out. Probably not going to do an episode by episode reboot on that by any means, but I definitely intend on checking it out though. Do you know what that is, Dragon?
I have no idea what that is.
You don't know what that is, really? That's the
I may have seen it like quickly in like one of the little debut videos they did for like stuff
Jim
coming
Henson,
up this month. Jim Henson,
the Jim Henson Alien Talk Show.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, well, again, I'm still waiting on dinosaurs, man, but I'll check it out for sure. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I have no idea if it's any good, but I mean, by all intents and purposes, it could be what we wanted Muppets Now to be. We don't know, but all right. Anyways, back to DC fandom. Sorry.
All right, the game. Let's see. Speaking of Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. Tiki, you saw the trailer.
Oh, this looks so cool. I'm not gonna lie. Dragon, when I heard the title, I kind of rolled my eyes because I've got to admit I'm a little sick of the evil Superman thing. I really am. But this was a badass trailer.
Okay, let me be clear. I'm absolutely here, and I hear everyone is saying everyone collectively is tired of Dark Superman. But you know what? Those other things beforehand, they didn't need Dark Superman. This one actually could use Dark Superman. So this is what I'm saying. This is like
I agree. In context, this absolutely works. This absolutely works in context. Yeah. I love how most of the trailer is just the Suicide Squad fucking around, trying to avoid doing any work. I honestly hope the game implements gameplay like that.
Yeah, here you can choose to play as each of the members, each of the 4 members.
That's cool. But what I'm saying is I hope that there's options where it's instead of going into the fight, you hide out in a billiard hall and play some pool or something like that. I don't know. That'd be kind of fun.
That sounds like a Captain Boomerang thing. I could see that.
Speaking of which, I love the older Captain Boomerang that we're getting.
Oh yeah.
He seems a little more older, more hardened. Generally speaking, looks like a cool lot of characters. We got some King Shark in there, gives us a little flavor of what he might be like in the James Gunn Suicide Squad.
Sure.
But just generally speaking, I just love the way that this trailer is framed. And I really dig that Rocksteady's going in a different direction for their next franchise. Because, of course, the Batman Arkham games, they're a big reason why collectively we as a conscience can't get past dark and gritty Batman. You know what I mean?
In part, sure.
So with that in mind, I think it's cool that Rocksteady is going in an entirely different direction. We're still getting the dark and gritty Superman, but it's being offset by this really fun, playful tone of the Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad, to me, are at their best when they have such an uphill battle. I don't mean weird Enchantress uphill battles. I mean legit uphill battles. In the animated, and just like the animated series, they had a Suicide Squad. They couldn't call them the Suicide Squad, as you probably imagine. They call them by their actual name, Task Force X. And they have to infiltrate the Watchtower, so it's full of everyone from the Justice League is in the Watchtower. And it's such a great episode. And this feels kind of like that. We're okay with the task, with a mission that we know, well, presumably they can't complete. But then again, this game, anything could happen. I don't know. I'll tell you, I have one pet peeve that will not affect the game at all, but it's just the marketing of the game just bugs the crap out of me. The next 2 games we're going to talk about, this and the Gotham Knights, they pulled a switcheroo that bugs me to no end. it's a continuity thing where they're saying this Suicide Squad Kills the Justice game is in the Arkham continuity now. And because you saw the Assault on Arkham movie, right? Which is in that continuity.
Yes.
Point being, two things that prove it cannot possibly be in the continuity. One, King Shark's alive, and two, Deadshot. He was white in all the Arkham games, and now we've made him black to kind of reflect, I guess, the movies and stuff. Which again, that's fine, but don't say it's the same one because it clearly isn't.
All right.
But I'm saying, if you want to just do a Suicide, I don't get. And then the
continuity is your thing, bro.
But it's not even deep continuity. It's very simple. It's like one's alive, one is dead.
All right.
Point being. Anyways, that's what I'm saying. Just drifting into the next subject here. I'm saying is like, I don't know why we can't just say, hey, new Suicide Squad game, because that's what everyone's going to take it as anyway.
Right, of course, I agree.
Gotham Knights is the bigger pet peeve because literally they pick up where the one Arkham game ends, but no, this one isn't in continuity. Like, what? Why are we doing
now Gotham Knights, that one looks a lot more questionable, if I'm being honest with you. I feel like the trailer, first of all, the trailer was entirely too long for what it was.
Yeah, like they did that thing where they do like gameplay within the trailer. I think it's the.
Which, I mean, to be fair, at least I know what the gameplay is going to look like, which I don't know for Suicide Squad. So, but I mean, I'm like that when it comes to video games, Dragon. I care. Like when it comes to a trailer, I want to see the gameplay. It actually kind of drives me nuts. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Suicide Squad thing was really cool. Sells you on the game. But still, I'd like to see how it actually plays. So that's no problem with this trailer. With that being said, it still shouldn't have been 5 minutes long.
Yeah, it was. Well, I guess you can mark it as like a sneak peek before a trailer. So, but yeah, I hear you.
But, I mean, honestly, Dragon, like, I'm just not super stoked on this premise, just like, and first of all, I have things to say about this. I really thought the whole like, first they became what was it, Dre? The whole progression of like they were they were crime stoppers turned vigilantes, and then they were vigilantes turned heroes, and now they're heroes turned knights. Dragon, that was just pretentious as all fuck, man. I did not dig that at all. That just had like mid 2000s trailer vibes all over it, bro. Second of all, I don't know. I feel like I've just been through the ringer with literally all these characters, and I pretty much know. I mean, I'm not like obviously I'm not as deep cut as you are, but I like honestly, if we had a Bat Family game of like, let's say like a Carrie Kelly or something like that, I'd be a lot more interested. But this is just like the same 4 Bat Family members that we see over and over and over again, and it just. I don't know. For me, who's a more casual Batman fan, this seems really arbitrary.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, again, I think it looks great. I like kind of playing with the Bat Family. Again, it's essentially the Bat Family after Batman's quote unquote demise. Again, I don't belabor the point, but again, I'm just still baffled. Like, literally, you had a whole Arkham game, and this whole thing's going to play like the Arkham game anyway. You can see that from the gameplay in the trailer. It's going to play exactly the same. And literally, the whole end of the Arkham Knight thing is like, Batman. He kind of goes off the grid and kind of missing and everything. Kind of like literally as we open this thing, only it doesn't sound like Kevin Conroy. But just like literally, it's like we changed the voice, and it's literally like what the aftermath of that would be. Yet no, this is the new game, not the Suicide Squad that no one's going to remember. Anyway, the point being. It's a little topsy turvy, but the big thing to call out that really looks impressive with this game, I think everyone's talking about, Court of Owls.
That's cool. That's cool. That got me intrigued. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. The Court of Owls. I mean, yes,
if the Court of Owls is the main focal point of the game, I'm there. But the thing is, Dragon, the thing is, I feel like I'm more familiar with video game marketing than you are. And a lot of times with video game marketing, they'll throw something like that in to get you really stoked and really excited. And then it'll be like a fucking 2-hour side quest in a 20-hour game. You know what I mean? So the way that they just kind of teased it at the end, I don't know. If the whole game is Court of Owls centric, I'm definitely more interested than I would otherwise be. I mean, but I'm going to need to wait and see how big of a role the Court of Owls actually play before I get too excited.
I can only assume the smart logic would be, okay, because we had Mr. Freeze in that gameplay footage. Of course, Mr. Freeze does kind of tie into how you stop the Court of Owls, because you freeze them, and that's kind of how you weaken them, that whole thing. You'd imagine that, okay, Batman's gone. The big guy that was kind of the reason the Court of Owls were afraid to come out, he's gone. So now the Court of Owls are unleashed. That'd be an interesting sell. And again, it's kind of a shame we can't have Batman going up against the Court of Owls. But again, for what they're going for, it seems like it could work. So the point being, the Court of Owls seems to be a big sell. I'm looking forward to the game. Not as much of the Suicide Squad game, but I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Okay, Donovan's going to be really excited for us to talk Snyder Cut.
If Donovan's still here, but
if he's still here.
Donovan, I love you, buddy, but I didn't like the song choice.
Yeah, the panel and the trailer overall was rather artificial. It was a little self-congratulatory, let's be honest.
I mean, Donovan, look, I'm clearly not as stoked for the Snyder Cut as you are, bro, because frankly, like, and this, no disrespect to you at all, but you are like the biggest Snyder Cut fan I know, Donovan, and I respect that. But I'm looking forward to it. You know, I mean, I definitely think, especially with the fact that we're getting like basically a whole other movie's worth of footage.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm definitely intrigued, and I'll definitely be there for it. It's just not something I'm going to be like. I'm sure that the internet's going to be super hyped, and it's going to be one thing where it's like, oh, Snyder Cut's on HBO Max today. I guess I'll watch that. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be an event for me, but you know, I'm still looking forward to it.
Yeah, again, I keep saying this. Everyone was asking, like, what do you think of the Snyder Cut? It's like, look, unless it's going to get enough money, enough funding for a part 2, which the whole thing is marketing on, like, Justice League's supposed to be like a 2-part movie, what Snyder wanted to do. Unless we get the part 2, which is going to be the interesting stuff, it's not going to fix the movie, even if we get all Snyder footage, okay? Even if we get 4 hours of it, I don't
that fake leak about Batman versus Superman being a 2-parter.
I think
there were like fake logos and everything.
I don't know, maybe, because I remember like people. Anyway,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to derail it, but anyways, go ahead.
So my point is, unless again, even if we get this 4 hour incremental thing, like these 4 like separate hours, which again is a good way of like producing it in a new, fresh way, I guess.
You know what they should do, Dragon?
What?
They should release the first hour on the date that we're all excited for, and then release each hour weekly.
Oh no, that's just stuff.
You know, it's not like I binged through 3 hours of The Boys last night only to really want more and not get more. It's not like that happened. Anyways.
Seriously,
The Boys kicks out so far. It kicks ass so far. That's all I'll tell you.
All right, good, because I'm going to watch it tomorrow. I'm going to start it tomorrow.
Oh, it's good. It's good, my friend. I'm
rewatching the first season now. That's the thing. Anyway.
Anyways, okay, go ahead.
So my point is, we need part 2 to really make a difference in anything. I'm hoping if this goes well, maybe we'll get funding for a part 2. Could be crazy. Probably not going to happen, but
God, that'd be so patchy.
I mean, honestly, the other thing with the trailer too is they showed the only part I really need to see, so it kind of defeats the purpose with the trailer. Is like I saw Darkseid, because the whole big thing with the Snyder Cut is that with the big thing that was missing is Darkseid's supposed to kill Steppenwolf for failing, for screwing the pooch, and they showed that. I mean, it didn't kill him obviously, they just like showed, hey, there's Darkseid. I wonder what he's gonna do, and the effects look better. So I mean, Steppenwolf looks a lot better with the effects.
And the color coding doesn't look awful.
That's what I'm saying. So again, Snyder bringing the style as he tends to do. So I mean, you got that going on. Okay.
All right, Dragon. I've got breaking news that I just found out about tonight regarding another director's cut.
Yeah.
So apparently, there's a long lost Godfather Part 3 director's cut.
Really?
And it's actually going to be released to theaters, and it's going to have a different ending.
Now that's interesting, actually.
It's intriguing, right?
Yeah,
it's intriguing. I mean, it's still probably most likely, obviously, going to be the weakest of the 3, but we'll see how it goes. I really like the original end of the Godfather. It intrigues me what they were where they go with. Anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So Black Adam. Not a lot footage-wise, obviously, because they haven't shot anything.
A whole lot for this, man. To me, this just kind of like... I don't know. It just kind of seemed like kind of Black Panther meets Doctor Doom. That's what I got out of it. I don't know.
What? How did you
with the fictitious city and everything, with the civilization
right.
and shit.
Gotcha. Got the camera. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I guess I see that. Okay. So Black Adam, again, we had no footage, we just had like kind of this animatic and them talking it up a little bit. So basically a Black Adam anti-hero story. They're not if you ask me, Black Adam's usually just the bad guy through and through. But again, they've gone a little bit of the anti-hero because the idea he was the first choice.
Remember when the rumor was that The Rock was going to play both Shazam and Black Adam?
I still think that's a great idea. But
I do too.
Of course, now we have a movie that's like literally the same actor playing off against himself, so we know it's possible. Right. But anyway,
it'll happen.
They've been trying to make this work since Nuclear Man, but still. Okay, so my point is, so of course, Black Adam, he was the original Shazam. We name dropped him. Well, we kind of hinted at him in the first Shazam movie. There was the wizard chose another guy, and that went terribly wrong. So this is that story of how that went terribly wrong. Kind of bad guy becomes anti-hero, and then hero becomes anti-hero, then probably bad guy.
Yeah.
So, the big takeaway, the one big thing I want to highlight here, JSA. We're going a lot of JSA. JSA is coming back in a big way, man. The old World War II Justice League. These guys are fantastic, and and we're going to see Black Adam interact with a few of them. Atom Smasher, Hawkman, and Dr. Fate. Everyone loves Dr. Fate. Got the helmet. The Doctor Strange equivalent for the DC universe. So that's cool. I'm always baffled by, and apparently all the animatic footage, Rock doesn't have the hair. And what bothers me about this is that, for years they've been doing all this fan art of what The Rock would look like as Black Adam since this thing's been in development, and he always has like the little widow's peak tuft of hair. And The Rock in his youth, he used to, in the old like the game plan days, he used to have the hair going on.
Right. Yeah.
Is he that?
Yeah.
Why is he Bruce Willis now so sensitive about it? I can't let him put a wig on him. It's fine. It's fine. At the end of the day, it's just like, why is he so sensitive about that?
Well, Dragon. It's weird. It's like I'm not anticipating getting to this point in my life, but you know Brad Jones and Doug Walker these days. Kind of same story there.
Yeah, I guess. But I'm just saying they'd be adding hair though. It's not that okay. Well, anyway.
Anyways.
Because I'm saying he looks so perfect for it, and he's still going to look good. It's just like
all right, I get it, Dragon. I get it. We've got a lot to cover, buddy.
Right. Okay, Flash movie / Bat Flick returns, as it were. So,
Dragon, I don't know how to feel about this Flash movie anymore, just because I honestly feel like if they called it the Flash into the Batverse, or obviously not that, but something akin to that, because let's be honest, let's call a spade a spade. This is a Batverse movie.
It's definitely here's what I think you're absolutely right, and here's what terrifies me. In the quote unquote Flashpoint movie, we haven't even revealed who we got for Reverse Flash. Really, we should start with the Reverse Flash, and it's all Batman. So far, all Batman, one Flash, no Reverse Flash. That's a problem.
Not even Thomas Wayne Batman.
I know, that's the biggest problem. All these Batman, and from everything I can tell, and here's the thing, the Affleck thing fills me with a little hope for Thomas Wayne Batman, but apparently they're still saying no Thomas Wayne Batman, because here's the thing, I hear Ben Affleck is coming back as Batman. My thought is, hey, they're trying to go, the whole point of getting Ben Affleck back as Batman is that so you could have Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who was that Batman's father, as Thomas Wayne Batman, right? You'd think. And I'm thinking, hey, it's a major win, but still no talk of Thomas Wayne and no Reverse Flash. And it's just like, we're not even doing Flashpoint. We're just doing the Batverse movie, aren't we?
And honestly, the more I think about it, the less cool Michael Keaton as Nick Fury Batman sounds, if I'm being completely frank with you.
I don't think you've seen this. I'm going to tell you this. They had one piece of fan art. They had a piece of concept art.
Okay.
And it was Flash in his new suit, which looks really cool. But more importantly, that Flash and Keaton in the '89 suit.
Oh, that's pretty badass.
Now, again, they could have just pulled, I don't know if it's stock or just a concept. Right. We don't have to make it to the final movie, but again.
I want to see Keaton in that suit, goddamn.
That's what I'm saying.
That suit.
That concept art looks like it's Flash and '89 Batman fighting alongside each other.
I also want to see another action sequence in that Batmobile, but that's neither here nor there.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're really hyping up like Batman, Flash having a really good dynamic, kind of like they had in Justice League. Again, if you get Affleck in there,
Okay, if
cool.
my thing is like if Michael Keaton Batman is reserved for Flash, that's cool. I just don't want Michael Keaton Batman showing up in every other DC movie. That's my thing.
The only thing I want Keaton Batman in would be a Batman Beyond thing in live action.
Yeah, it definitely.
That'd be the exception, but yeah, if it just keeps kind of popping up just for giggles.
I feel like Keaton Batman is going to be one of those things where it's like it's going to be awesome when we see it, and we all know it's going to be awesome, but I feel like the novelty will wear off very quickly if they overdo it.
Oh yeah.
So
the only thing that's going to renew that is like, hey, we're doing the Batman. We're doing that Batman. Not triumphant. We're going to do the third Batman movie that never happened. The one that was supposed to have Robin in it.
If they do that, then hell yes, I'm in.
That's what I'm saying. If they do that, that's the only way you. That's the only way you renew like all the faith in the world and like, okay, I'm all for Keaton, man.
I would even have faith in Tim Burton at that point.
That's what I'm saying. They'd have to get Burton for that.
And it would probably be awful, but it'd still be amazing.
Honestly, I just wanted to do an animated death of Superman. The whole Superman Lives thing. An animated Superman Lives, and we do the Kevin Smith script, which has a Keaton Batman cameo.
That'd be cool.
That's it. Okay. Anyway, so point being, Flash movie, it's chaos, but I don't know. Here's something we can get behind, though. We got some DC animation news. This is stuff that actually is happening and coming out. So the 2021 film slate for DC anime movies has been revealed. It's 3 movies. Okay, Batman: Soul of the Dragon. So here's what this one is, Tiki. It's a 70s Batman. Batman in the 70s.
Kung Fu, I assume.
What?
Kung Fu, I assume.
Yes, absolutely. It's a martial arts
so
throwback.
It's like Batman meets Enter the Dragon.
Yes.
Okay, I can get behind that. It's
Batman meeting up with some of his some past students from his travels around the world doing all his martial arts stuff. It's him, Bronze Tiger, who's Michael Jai White playing Bronze Tiger, as he tends to do, Lady Shiva, and Richard Dragon.
Okay.
Who's very much Bruce Lee inspired, as you can probably guess.
Yeah, sounds cool.
And we have Justice Society World War II.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm all over that. Anything with World War II superheroes, man, that's one of my bread and butter things when it comes to superheroes.
And again, Tika, the Justice Society is making a comeback because they're on Stargirl, they're here, and then the Black Adam movie coming out, so that's going to be cool. Mm-hmm. And here's the one I'm most excited for, and I hope you are too. I don't know if you've heard about this one.
Okay.
Batman: The Long Halloween.
Oh, finally!
Wait for it. In 2 parts.
Glorious!
Or if done right,
we should be.
If done right, we could get like another Dark Knight Returns, buddy boy.
All right. Well, I'm actually kind of shocked that I haven't heard of that, but yeah. I mean, it felt inevitable. I really hope they don't pull a Killing Joke and drop the ball on it, but we'll see.
I know it's the last of the major Batman stories that we I never thought we'd get to this point, but finally they're doing Long Halloween. That's amazing.
I mean, I'd still like to see Court of Owls. I know Cap has some reservations about Court of Owls. I'd personally
they kind of adapted Court of Owls already, Tiki, but it didn't go well. But it was.
When did they adapt Court of Owls? I don't remember.
It's in the crappy Batman versus Robin movie. That's the.
Oh well, fuck that! Just do a straight adaptation.
I know that's what I'm saying. They should do. Well, point being, again, now if they closed up all the continuity stuff. So if they were doing Court of Owls, they could do it now. Yep. And hey, we got a Court of Owls game coming out. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
All right. Okay. All right. So Long Halloween has me very
finally,
excited. Yes.
Speaking of Halloween, transition.
Yeah.
Mando season 2 is coming out October 30th, just in time for Halloween, Dragon.
Yep. Oh boy,
the Halloween this is going to be just like the best Halloween, isn't it?
Oh man, I don't do that. Come on. That's mean, man. Because I don't know how Halloween's going to go.
I can tell you how it's going to go. It's not going to go.
That's what I'm saying. I don't.
But anyways, bright spot here. Mando season 2, something that we collectively as a culture can look forward to.
See, this
Yes,
is why we
please.
structured it this way, folks. We started with the worst news, we ended on the best news. Mando's coming.
I mean, we already pretty much assumed that season 2, if it was, assuming it wasn't going to get delayed, we assumed it'd be coming around this time anyways. But it's great to get confirmation, man. That good old juicy confirmation.
Yep. I mean, I figured November, but this is even better. It's coming earlier.
Also, can I just say, Dragon is a Nintendo fan. I'm like, you have no idea. I don't even know if you've heard about this. You probably haven't, but you have no idea the weight that's been lifted off my shoulders now that that Mario 3D All-Stars thing has finally been confirmed.
Oh, I know about this, yeah.
Man, that Mario 3D All-Stars thing, I can't tell you how long that thing has been rumored. All right? Anyways,
now, remind me, is that, well, yeah, we don't have time to talk, we'll talk about it afterwards anyway.
No. I'm curious. What do you want to know?
It was the 3D thing, is the 3D Mario thing, is that the one with the toy car you're talking about?
No, that's no. That's the Mario Kart augmented reality game. Mario Kart 3D. Mario 3D All-Stars is going to be Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and the original Mario Galaxy.
Actually, and of course, 35th anniversary for Mario too. That's a biggie.
Indeed. All right. Anyways, I really need to invite Poncio onto a Nintendo podcast with me, man. I really should.
I'd like to make it happen. I'm still trying to get him for some stuff, so we'll see.
Should I send him a message on Facebook? You think that would help?
I don't think it wouldn't hurt.
I need to reach out to him, man, because we really should do like a monthly Nintendo news roundup or something with him.
Well, he loves talking Nintendo with you, but again, let's not put Poncio on the spot in passing here. All
right. Anyways, I'm sorry. Okay. So that's it for news, right?
Yeah, that's it for news.
All right. Only another hour till we get to the August movies. Aren't you excited?
Well, stuff actually happened this month, folks. All right.
I know. Okay, so Muppets Now. Oh fuck.
Would you like me to take points on this one?
Dragon, I don't want to. Okay, all I can say is that I've got a rant for the celebrity, air quotes, celebrity, biggest air quotes in the goddamn world, celebrity guest that they had on for this week's Okie Dokie Cookin'.
I have a joke about that, but I'm going to save it for when we talk.
We'll save it. We'll get into it.
Yeah, me too.
We'll get into it. Muppets Now is kind of a mess. It's got standalone things that are great. We'll get into it on the podcast, but the Seth Rogen Fozzie Bear thing honestly might be the funniest thing to come out of Muppets Now.
That was great. That was the best improvisation of the whole thing, let's be honest.
Yeah. And of course Uncle Deadly just continues to build his Muppets resume through Muppets Now.
Oh my god, Joe from Legal, new Muppet introduction who took
absolutely.
My god, Joe from Legal.
Absolutely.
Love him.
So there's definitely positive things to say about Muppets Now. It's not entirely a wash.
I gotta be honest with you now.
Go ahead.
Now that the season's over, now it's 6 episodes. Now that it's over, again, we're not going to talk too much about 6 here, but I guess collectively, it feels like half the season was on the mark when you really look at it. I think like 3 episodes at total. I think 3 episodes are pretty solid.
Yeah.
The other 3, it feels like it's like halfway there. I hope they get another season to kind of pound this out. Now they've kind of like thrown it against the wall and saw what's stuck. And
more variety. Variety. Less okie dokie cooking.
Disney, he's saying it very slow so you can understand it. So that's the thing. So Muppets Now is more limited than we anticipated back when we were really hyped for. Oh my god, Muppets Now! They're gonna have like new sketches every episode, right? Right? Why aren't you saying anything? Disney Plus? Why? But overall,
literally runs the exact same lineup of sketches 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So basically, it's more limited than anticipated. But I mean, in general, it's a welcome return just having the Muppets period come back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't complain.
That's what I'm saying. Overall, we can't complain. Hey, more Muppets. I wish Disney had more faith in the Muppets, but that's another matter. We're going to see how these, Earth to Ned and the rest of the stuff goes. I guess.
All right. Okay. Let's see. Infinity Train Book 3. I have not gotten around to this yet, Dragon. I got to be honest with you. I don't want to say I'm dreading it, but it looks really dense from what I've seen of it.
What do you mean by dense?
I mean, it looks like it's very mythology / world building driven, like less so than character.
Well, when you put it, I don't know. I guess you're I think there's enough of character
I
in there. I mean,
worry
yeah,
about that just because I feel like Infinity Train, the first 2 seasons, were so big on the character mixed with the world building that I'm a little hesitant about just this season being too overboard with the world building. That being
I
said, I'm only judging based on trailers, so
I think there's enough of a balance. I gotta be honest.
okay.
So I think there's gonna because again the characters are good, but again they also are kind of linked into the world building, so it's kind of hard for me to say
That's
one or the
that.
other.
Yeah, right. And that's kind of like inherently like my worry. But
Well, we'll see how that. Anyway, so point being, Infinity Train Book 3. I won't give away. I won't talk too deeply because this guy hasn't seen. We got to talk about this soon.
we'll definitely do a podcast on it. Yeah.
So I was a little doubtful at the start, kind of like season 2. It's not. It's not as much as like. It didn't take till 3 episodes to click into it. I think after 1 episode, I can kind of get into the to the flow with it. It's very impressive. It's very impressive continuation. Really is. It gives hope if they do more, or if look, they found enough story when I didn't think that was possible.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't overstay its welcome. Based on that, the story is continuing to go on again with said world building and such. I'm not sure if HBO gave them the go ahead to go further than Cartoon Network would allow them to, but it's at the very least it's bold in places, man. It's a really
That's
bold
what I've heard.
season.
I've heard hype. I haven't heard any spoilers, but I have heard hype that there's some bold stuff in it.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's like an adventure of self-discovery as there tends to be on the Infinity Train, and Tiki, there is some gobsmackingly good stuff. I mean, there's like I forget if it's like the middle. I think it's like episode 5 or 6. I forget. It's like in the middle somewhere. There's a big episode, man. It's like you'll be gobsmacked by what happens. All right.
And of course, you got to respect Infinity Train for they're one of the few shows I can think of that maintains a running continuity while having an almost entirely different cast of characters from season to season.
Yeah, and it continues it again. Like these are guys that Well, I think you're gonna like it, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Okay, so next up, high score. All right, Dragon, the best way I can describe this is the video games that made us.
Yeah, it's like an unofficial toys and or movies that made us docu-series for sure. It's like an unofficial one of those.
And Dragon, I gotta say, the only reason I'm not super into this is that we've got some kick-ass documentaries this month, man. This was an awesome month for documentaries. So to have something that I don't want to say this in an insulting way because I don't mean it in an insulting way, but to have something that's kind of surface level like this, it kind of feels like something that would play on, like on E Entertainment Channel back in the 2000s or something like that. It's fun. It's fun. As a huge video game fan, I'm way more of a video game fan than you are. So this is like pretty much mostly retreading old ground for me. It's a good introductory point for video game history. I'll give it that much. It's a good introductory point. It's nothing I didn't know already, but it's packaged well. It's entertaining enough. Not anything I'm going to go back to or remember, but it's solid. It's solid for what it is.
Yeah, I felt again in kind of like an unofficial toys that made us capacity. I feel this had a little more connective tissue and a narrative, like the evolution of games is kind of like the through line. I really enjoyed that. Like it was kind of this through line.
It wasn't. It definitely wasn't as episodic as the other shows are.
Yeah, the serialized thing I think really worked for it. This whole because the whole gimmick with these, have the toys and movies that makes you can watch them in any order. But I like there being an order though, because if you're gonna binge it in that way anyway, why not have an order and kind of use that to your advantage? Where it's like
totally.
It's about how the games build upon each other, and and I love how we go from like the simple games to the games that are like mired in controversy, like a Mortal Kombat. And there was this moment in the docu series that really got me. It was like it's like it could have had a V8 moment of like, oh, I just love that simple question they posed that Doom is like an evolution of the side scroller. That's how you move the camera differently through that's genius. I love it. It was nice.
All right, that's a good word for it, and I don't mean that in an insulting way. I really don't. All right, so next up, Umbrella Academy Season 2, Dragon.
Yes, of course. I really like the Umbrella Academy. Simple
I'm
Cell
gonna
X.
have to go back and I watched the first episode. It really didn't grab me, but I'll have to go back and give it another shot because people
Me,
have raved about
you
it.
gotta trust me, Teague. My favorite thing about Umbrella Academy that continues in season 2. I love how the show seasons work narratively. They do really great things with the narrative.
And that's cool. That's cool. And you know I love a good framing device. So
Yes, I think you're gonna like narratively where the show goes. At least I do. So, but again,
uh-huh.
Umbrella Academy, simply put, for me, what the show is, it's like X-Men meets Watchmen. It's like the ultimate dysfunctional family being reunited. That's pretty much what Umbrella Academy is. Season 2, I won't spoil anything, but season 2 is very creative. Continues continues that narrative element as I spoke to. It leans heavier into the time travel element that was established in season 1, because you have a time traveling. I mean, you saw the first episode. We have at least one time traveler in the bunch. I'll say that much.
Right, right.
And it comes into play in the first season, and it comes into play big time for the second season. Kind of leads to the main set piece of season 2.
All right.
All the characters are kind of put in like a different place and have different progressions, which are interesting. A lot of fun. Avoids becoming a rehash, despite every opportunity you'd imagine. Oh, it's going to be a rehash of the first season. It doesn't. Promises a very interesting season 3. Good stuff. It's a great back-to-back watch, by the way. If you were binging seasons 1 then going into 2 is all they say. It's a great time.
That's cool. That's always good.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, cool. Okay, so Sun in Lockdown. Dragon, it took you so long to get me to watch this, and I
Yes.
honestly, it was such a quick, easy, breezy watch, man. I
Yep.
loved it.
I really did, dude. This is like comfort food at its finest. I wish it were longer. I mean, it's what, like roughly about an hour long overall, maybe an hour and some change.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes a pop
Uh-huh.
at most. So
So, God, I don't even know. It's just what I love about this, Dragon, is that I feel like this is kind of like the sketch comedy version of Kevin Smith's day-to-day life. What?
They might want to lean in a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm trying. I like that. I like how we get stuff like like Shecky coming back, and and Jay's daughter, and all this stuff that we're familiar with as fans. But we're not like, but it's almost like the Kevin Smith heightened. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. He's basically working in the real life stuff, the deep
Or
cut,
to tease something coming up, the Kevin Smith curb your enthusiasm.
Nice. Of course, working in the real life stuff that we all know from the podcast and so on and so forth. And there, of course, and literally episodes about the podcast.
Right.
But I mean, T, I gotta tell you, man, I really wish you could have gotten in on the live airing, because the live airing is a reality show. This whole thing was a part of. It was so I was there for like the whole week of this thing. It was not the whole couple weeks of this thing. I guess 9 weeks technically. Anyway, so celebrity show off on TBS. Basically, they sent these celebrities equipment, TV equipment, to make a show from home. Basically, make a show on a week-to-week basis from their homes, and they people get voted off. And Kevin Smith, he made it to the end. He didn't win, but he made it to the end, though. So basically, he got the full season of his show. That's why he has an ending to his show, which is wonderful.
Nice.
That's it. It's classic sitcom based on the celebrity Kevin Smith. It's so cute and so funny, isn't it? It's such a nice little watch, and it's the whole like the father versus the boyfriend, Austin. That's it. It's delightful.
It's delightful. It's delightful. All right.
Simply delightful.
I don't know what else to say, Dragon.
I mean, again,
Right.
I love like the whole Steele and Shecky thing, and like the flashback episode. I think is brilliant. I guess it's just nice to see Kevin Smith get like a TV show in some way, and it going really good for him. I loved it.
All right. So Claude's got a couple questions here. Claude, you have literally been asking me about the Owl House for like 8 months, buddy. I am so behind. I tell you what, Claude, is season 1 over yet? Because I think what I'm going to do with the Outhouse is I'm just going to binge the whole season once it's out and once it's up on Disney Plus. So let me know if and when the whole season is up on Disney Plus, and I will definitely give it a watch. You've been very patient with me about it, so yeah, I definitely intend to watch it soon enough. Okay, have you guys seen Netflix adult series Hoops yet? I haven't.
I saw the trailer for it. I'm not impressed.
It looks dreadful. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. I'm sorry, Claude, if you have any enthusiasm for it, but
Nothing against Jake Johnson though. He's a nice guy.
my whole thing is that it looks almost exactly like Brickleberry and Paradise PD and Dragon. Those shows are just like I don't want to say they're the antithesis of adult animation because there's far worse, but they're the antithesis of mediocre adult animation, if that makes sense.
Mediocre.
But, you know what I mean, though? It's like it's just adult animation that's basically like boobs and penises and weed, and there's like no thought put into the jokes besides that.
Yep.
All right. Claude, is Owl House all the episodes on Netflix or not Netflix? I'm sorry.
Disney Plus.
We're talking hoops. All the episodes on Disney Plus, Claude? If so, I will I can at least make it a goal to get through Owl House in September.
Yeah, it's over. It's got 19 episodes, Tiki.
But they're all on Disney Plus.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you need. I assume so because he put it there. But yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. Okay. Next up, Dragon. What do you got?
Okay, Lucifer season 5, part 1.
What's
okay,
up
so
with
the
this part 1 bullshit, Dragon.
Well, the pandemic messed with things.
Okay, that's not bullshit. Then I'm going based on the boys' levels of bullshit.
I mean, here. Okay, so to be fair, I gotta tell you, I won't. I'm not gonna spin like a whole yarn here. Just to keep it simple, Lucifer it got brought back from cancellation, hence the season 4 and why it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, I got that.
So originally, season 5 was supposed to be the last season. They were gonna do like the BoJack thing. They broke it up into 2 parts. Pandemic struck, so that's why the part 2. I don't know what I heard it was in the can, but then I'm hearing it might not be in the can, so that complicates things. And now, amidst the pandemic, they got picked up for a season 6, so that's why part 2 is even more. They have an ending for 5, but now season 6 is going to be the ending to the whole series. So we'll see what happens. The point being, though, season 4 was excellent. So I loved season 4 when they came back with the flourish again, not knowing if they're going to come back for any more or whatnot. But season 5, part 1, I enjoyed it. Not as perfect as season 4, mind you. Again, mind you, it is a little incomplete, so it's kind of hard to make that call until we get the second part of season 5. But there's some. I'll tell you one thing, Tiki. It has some great subversions from the trailers and the marketing for what this season was supposed to be like. You think, oh god, it's going to be one of these seasons where no, it isn't. And it was great. Basically, the theme of this half is like, how does the devil adapt to a change in his relationship status? After like this whole series-long will they, won't they thing, where it's like, okay, he's finally got it, so how does that affect him? So, and of course, Lucifer as a whole, this is like the procedural with style, Tika. This is like one of the few procedures I could recommend to you because, like this and Prodigal Son are like the procedures I recommend to you because they're like they jazz up like the usual procedural shenanigans. It's like, hey, he's the devil and he's using his devil powers and stuff, and he's like
the Luke Cage one, right?
No, that's Evil.
Oh, I'm sorry. God.
Prodigal Son is the one with Michael Sheen.
Generic ass CBS name, by the way.
Well, Prodigal Son. Well, Evil's which one's the generic one?
Evil.
Yeah, Evil is.
I mean, at least Prodigal Son, there's some thematic relevance there.
Yeah, there is absolutely. That's the whole theme of the show. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah, Michael Sheen. That's the Prodigal Son. That's what
the
show.
Gotcha. Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, anyway, so these are the procedurals, but those are the procedurals with style, But I got to tell you, first half of this part 1, it's the opening act for some really big stuff. There's a really epic cliffhanger at the end of part 1 of season 5. It's like, okay, this is huge, and now we're gonna have to wait. So we'll see how that goes.
Wait for it. All right. I'm in a Hamilton mood tonight.
Yes, I gathered.
Okay, maybe what I'm about to show you will put you in a better mood. So next up, I have. All Be Gone in the Dark, baby.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah. Happened to come into the thrift store the day I finished it.
Well, we can read. I'm impressed.
I honestly don't know if I'm gonna read it or not because it seems really fucking dense. But
why do you fear density, man? Learn from George McFly. Embrace the density.
I don't know. Like with books, especially, man. I struggle. But But I'll be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of great stuff here in this docu-series. A lot of great stuff. I don't think I'm as over the moon about it as you are, and I'll tell you why. I think this documentary, the biggest nitpick I have with it, and to me it's a pretty significant nitpick, is the fact that the documentary, like throughout the whole thing, it can't decide whether or not it wants to be an investigative documentary or like a home, like kind of private behind closed doors kind of documentary. And I understand that might be the point, but I feel like in terms of the editing, it gets like, I don't know, Dragon. Like, to me, the more compelling stuff isn't the case. The more compelling stuff is how the investigation is affecting the family. And Patton Oswalt is like my lifeblood on the show, Dragon. I mean, Patton Oswalt is super compelling in the show. But I gotta tell you, when it gets into the weeds about the actual like investigation, I get a little lost just because this is such a deep case. And don't get me wrong, there's stuff that's great. Like the heist is wonderful. That's a great episode. But I don't know, man. I just, at the end of the day, this definitely had compelling elements to it. I'm just, I struggled with it just a tiny bit because of the whole, like, it flip-flops so dramatically back and forth between, like, now we're going to get the perspective of how it's affecting her on a personal level, and now we're going to get, like, a straight half hour on, like, interviewing, like, a single victim of the Golden State Killer. And, you know what I mean, Dragon? The pacing is just a little off. It's a little off.
Well, tell me, like, the episode 4 onward, when the big thing happens to her. I mean, you liked that half of it, didn't you?
Well, I mean, episode 4, I was gobsmacked, obviously, because the most compelling part of this is, you know what's going to happen, you don't know when it's going to happen. That keeps you hooked. I will admit, Dragon, I was a little bit gobsmacked that it happened as early as it did in the series.
Yeah.
I assumed it was going to happen at least, the penultimate episode, if not the finale.
I know, right? Yeah.
But I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I almost kind of feel like it peaked with that, though, because I feel like, the ending is very nice, the whole collaboration and, Patton finishing the book and everything. It's great, but I feel like I almost kind of feel like it would have had more of a gut punch if narratively it was the penultimate moment. And we didn't have 2 episodes of post that, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Dragon, by all means, I enjoyed this, all right? By all means, I enjoyed this a lot. Structurally, there's things I can nitpick with it.
Yeah, but again, you did like the Creature from the Black Lagoon Runner.
Though, oh, God, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. I mean, a lot of great stuff. I mean, this is a month of documentaries using archive footage incredibly well, so.
And I love how each time it takes on new meaning, and of course the letter to the old man thing's pretty cool too.
Oh yeah. All right. Next up.
Yes, next up, Stargirl Season 1. That finally wrapped up.
Okay, so Disney Plus has a Stargirl movie, right? And it's totally not this Stargirl.
Yeah, I heard something having another Stargirl, so that was Disney Plus, eh?
It's Dragon, I kid you not, it's literally just like just the manic pixie dream girl movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't even seen that. I can already say this is better. So okay. So Stargirl Season 1, so it's based on the comic, the DC Comics character. You can find it on DC Universe, and it can air. Basically what they did is they simultaneously it was originally a DC Universe show. And people liked it so much it was kind of airing simultaneously on DC Universe and aired on the CW, but again, it wasn't like a CW show, so that's why it was a little better than the usual stuff they put out. So, and again, now it's been picked up. So going forward, I don't know if it's probably just going to be made on the CW side of things. So hopefully it'll keep up the same quality of Season 1, because Season 1 was fantastic. Stargirl's character and what the whole season's kind of doing as well is that it's adapting the Stargirl origin and everything, which is basically a loving tribute to Jeff Johns' sister who died in a plane crash. And show was wonderful. Basically, the whole premise is the Injustice Society kills the JSA. Again, JSA. Kills the JSA, including Starman. Including Starman, who again he has like this cosmic staff, and his sidekick Stripesy, who's played by Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson is so good in this show. He was in a terrible movie with My Super Ex-Girlfriend, but he's redeemed himself with this role. But yeah, basically, the whole story is basically it's about a stepfather, and a stepdaughter. It's like them becoming close. That's the whole cornerstones of the Stargirl stories. Basically, he's the Stripesy, the sidekick, the Starman. He loses his friend, his partner, his hero that he's a sidekick to. And years later, he marries a woman who has a daughter who's named Courtney, and Courtney becomes Stargirl. The staff that he just had on him, because he basically had his friend's possession. Staff picks her to be the next Starman, so she becomes Stargirl, and she kind of builds a next generation JSA with all like the weapons and costumes of the JSA. She kind of picks a new, kids from her school and everything. The idea is like in this small town that they moved to, almost everyone's like a supervillain and everything, and like there's a lot of it's like fun interconnective stuff. It's really fun. It's over 13 episodes. The big thing with a couple shows I'm going to be talking about this month is that smart move. Let's do 13 episodes instead of doing 22. That's going to help the show be better. None of the CW BS where we got to do like a winter break and we got to make Dragon on for like 22 episodes. None of that here. It's very smoothly plotted. It's really good stuff. It's like straight off the page adaptations with the costumes of the characters. You have a really good villain in Icicle. Icicle's the guy who killed Starman. He's leading the Injustice Society. He's very interesting. A lot of shades of gray stuff on the characters, both good and bad sides. I'll admit, probably not perfect, but it's grounded without diluting anything. It's not like being edgy or CW-y, but it's it's grounded. It's like you believe it. It's a slam dunk. It's what the CW needs, assuming they can maintain the quality of this going forward. They have some fun. Like Henry Thomas, he plays the voice of Dr. Midnight. He's like a Jarvis. He's like it's like a Jarvis computer program on the girl's goggles for Dr. Midnight. Yeah, like that. You got a bunch of really cool stuff. Episode 3, I think, would hook you if you got to episode 3. But in Stargirl, I highly recommend it to anyone who's looking for like a DC fix after the fandom. Go to Stargirl, kids. It's what we need right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a little long-winded, but no offense. Couldn't really follow that all that well.
Well, because you looked a little busy at the moment.
Well, I know, but still.
Was there anything you'd like me to clarify real quick?
Oh, no, because I'm probably not going to watch it, but I'm sorry. I mean, it sounds fun. Okay. I'm sorry, Dragon. That was kind of rude of me. Oh, you know what that social encounter, though, reminds me of, where you go on a long tangent, and I'm just like, meh. It's kind of a Curb Your Enthusiasm thing a little bit.
Well, that's a stretch. Come on.
I know.
that was a big stretch for a Curb. Anyway, go on.
Hey, what's with this guy always? I go on these big speeches, and he just doesn't appreciate them. Who appreciates a good speech these days?
Tiki, put down the shovel and just tell people about Curb.
Oh, God. Oh, I love you too, Dragon. Okay, so of course, we did an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm for Christmas in July. It was the first time I had ever sat down and watched an episode of Curb, and I got to admit, Dragon, I kind of fell in love instantly. I was hooked. I really was. Just the setup, the hiding quality of it. I honestly don't know why it's taken me this long to get into the show. Maybe because HBO Max exists now and I have access to it, but I don't know. So I watched season 9, and Dragon was hyping up season 9 to me for a while now, of being, the season where Lin-Manuel Miranda shows up. You gotta wait for him, but once you get to wait for it, I'm sorry, you gotta wait for him, but that one was appropriate, though. You gotta admit. You gotta wait for him, but once he shows up and once he's there, it's big. Oh, Dragon, the Lin-Manuel Miranda stuff was amazing. I mean, I can't even. I mean, just so good. Just so good. what delighted me the most about this whole thing, though, was that the whole season was awesome, Dragon. Oh my god. I mean, is this what every Curb season is like with the whole with
I
the
keep telling you,
setup, the payoff?
they set up and pay off the season. Yeah, basically season 3 on Curb really got great season 3 onward. That's kind of where they started that whole we build up the season. We have this interconnected tissue again. My favorite,
man, I mean, just the sharp comedy writing here is just it is razor sharp, man. Oh my god. And of course, Dragon, the one distracting element for me is I sent you that the clip of the Mike Holloway from Survivor.
Yes.
Totally just oh god, I'm sorry. Please,
Funkhauser.
Dragon. No. Funkhauser,
Marty,
thank you.
Marty Funkhauser. By the way, played by I believe Marty Eisenberg, I think. But anyways, unfortunately he's passed away since, so he's not going to be on Curb going forward.
Oh shit! I
mean, you still get a couple. There'll be a bunch of seasons and episodes.
No, but I mean, I'm genuinely really sorry to hear that though, because he seemed like a really entertaining guy.
He was really funny too.
But no, like the one thing about watching this is every time Funkhauser showed up, I was like, oh look, it's Mike Holloway. I mean, Dragon, you don't forget a voice like that. You know what I mean? And Mike Holloway and this guy both have really distinct voices, and they're very similar. But
sure.
No, but the fatwa thing, man, oh my god.
I love the impassioned breakfast buffet scene, or the buffet scene. That how he got himself redeemed in the eyes of the fatwa. I love that. I love that scene so much. He gave this excellent speech about the about the buffet.
I am so hooked on the show, and I need to watch more immediately.
Again, Tiki, season 4 is the next one for you, buddy.
You got it. I'm on it, buddy.
But I tell you love the payoff with Miranda too, with the
Oh, the paintball thing? Yeah, of course. I was shooting towards the sky. I wanted to shoot towards the sky.
And again, having seen Hamilton now, that makes knowing that gag with Manuel Miranda. So I see Hamilton. That's where that comes from.
The sky. I may have been the first one to die. You get it. But anyways, yeah. All right. Also, Dragon, it was really weird seeing footage of the Hamilton cast performing in the Pantages, because that's where I saw Hamilton.
Huh.
So that was kind of trippy for me, seeing Hamilton in the place where I saw Hamilton. Anyways.
Yeah.
Any other thing? Oh, Ted Danson was awesome this season.
Yeah, he's in it for the longest time. Ted Danson's, he used to be a bigger part of the show. He still shows up at least once every season, I think.
And of course JB Smoove.
Yeah, he comes into play season 6 onward.
Okay. He was great. I mean,
oh man, this show's fucking awesome, dude. I need to just watch all of it. I need all of it consumed into my brain immediately.
Yes, you do, sir. Yes, you do.
All right. Okay.
I got a story for one of the episodes once you get to it, but I won't bore you now. So there's this one episode that has it actually helped exonerate a man, but anyway. Okay.
Great. What's next for you?
Next for me, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7. Okay, so this was the last season.
I honestly, I was going to say, I honestly didn't even realize the show was still going.
Yeah, they did a thing where they basically, it counts as a separate season, but they kind of, they had season 6 and they had season 7, so it felt like they did a shorter season for each in their last kind of renewal. So it's kind of like what Lucifer had, only it's like a distinctive season.
That's also kind of vaguely what Lost did for its last few seasons.
But I'll tell you, man, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I don't know if you've heard any of this. I got to tell you, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in their last season, they saved the best for last. It was, they went out on a high note.
Dragon, are you kidding me? I don't mean to derail your point, but I haven't even remotely been keeping up with the discourse around Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in such a long time.
I'm saying a few people who never talk about it, but went out of their way and saying, this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show got really good in the last season. That's why I thought maybe you heard about it.
No, anyway. I haven't, but...
But yet again, like the Stargirl point that I made, maybe kind of landed on deaf ears, but I made, it's 13 episodes.
Okay, you didn't make a point, all right? I just want to call you out on that. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I made the point about the 13 episode thing is what the CW and other shows should
That
do.
was one of the points of many points that you made. All right. Anyways,
Anyway, the point
I'm gonna
being,
get salty with you going forward, Mister, about that kind of stuff. Anyways,
so again doing the shorter 13 episode seasons, that was
Dragon. Just so you know,
great.
I'm literally like up close to my laptop right now. Like I can't lean much further, so I don't know what the issue is.
Well, right now you're sounding fine because
Okay,
novel
well,
idea, you're close to it.
I'm just saying. I don't know. Anyways, I'm trying my best.
All right. So anyway, last season they're traveling through time this season because they at the end of season 6 they were kind of thrown way back in the 30s, and basically it's them working their way up and again taking their time in like the 13 episodes they have to kind of progressively work their way back to the present. There is some big connective tissue to Agent Carter. They bring back Daniel Sousa.
What?
And Tiki, they did wonderful
I'm
things with Sousa.
intrigued.
Episode 4 is the best episode. It's my favorite episode of the season. That's the all Sousa episode, man. And it's,
wow,
it's so good. It's that's what I'm saying. Like
is he
it's
like
such
an
a great
old man, or is there time travel involved?
That's what I'm saying. The whole season's time travel's involved. So they start off in the 30s,
So
and
it's the
eventually
same actor.
Yeah, same actor. It's it's the same actor.
Cool.
Yeah, so Sousa's back.
That instantly got me intrigued, Dragon.
That's what I'm saying. It's like again, unfortunately, no Haley Atwell, but they got Sousa. And they do. It's not just like a cameo. Sousa has a big role in the season.
Cool. Wow. Oh my god, I'm so excited that Marvel's paying attention to Agent Carter again.
I know. So it's kind of like they had their own TV version of Endgame in a sense, and it's kind of like I'll admit though it's kind of like a last ride in that they kind of have towards the end they do have like references to the past seasons. I don't think it really gets in the way. That's the thing. Everyone is kind of glowing about it. And you know those people who remember the other seasons, but they're out there having a good time with it.
Sure.
And like for me, like the seasons I recommend Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., season 1 is my favorite. They have seasons 1, 2, 4 for the Ghost Rider of it all, and then 7 seasons. Those are the seasons. 1 and 7 are real standouts. It all gets tied up quite nicely in the end. I won't say what happens. It has a really nice ending. I wish they cracked the code on this in those middle seasons when they had trouble. I wish they cracked the code for this sort of thing. One of the shorter seasons. I don't know, but it's nice to see the MCU get some nice representation this year when it's kind of a ghost town right now. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Dragon, this was like my on the fly, like, hey, I'm stoned as fuck at 1 a.m. What should I watch?
Well,
look what came to HBO Max. Oh boy, Dragon, are you familiar with the Brack Show at all in any way?
This is the Space Ghost Brack, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm familiar with this, man.
But I mean, you're familiar with Space Ghost Brack, but are you familiar with the Brack Show?
No, I know he had like a show and everything. I don't remember it intimately. I remember he had a show and it was like kind
Do
of
you remember the general setup of said show?
You might want to remind me.
Okay. This is gonna sound awesome, but trust me, it's not as awesome as you think it's gonna sound.
All right.
Okay, so it's basically a Leave It to Beaver spoof. And his mom is like the same alien species that he is, and his dad is a tiny little human German man.
Ah.
And the element of the show that works the best still and holds up is Zorak is the shit disturbing bad influence neighbor kid.
I see.
So they play it completely straight, Dragon. Like they play it like, like it's like Brack is, he's an alien, but he's also just like kind of a bratty teenager, and Zorak is just a total edgelord teenager. And I mean, but they're still inherently just Brack and Zorak. You know what I mean? It's just like it's literally like the exact same personalities. It's a clever setup, but Dragon, this show is such a goddamn mess. It's not even funny. Oh my god, wow. I feel like I'm going to go on a monkey tangent here. I don't know. This show kind of follows the format of the usual Adult Swim fare of like, oh, we're going to start with a somewhat simple premise, but then it's going to get wacky and trippy. And this shit's just, I don't know. Here's why I was so intrigued by it, though, Dragon. First of all, I'm a big Space Ghost Coast to Coast fan. Honestly, if they do the Patrick Star thing, anything like Space Ghost Coast to Coast, it might have a little bit of potential. Because of course you can't do Space Ghost Coast to Toast, Toast to Toast, Toast to Toast. Space Ghost Toast to Toast. I'm sure that joke's been made on the show. Anyways, you can't do Space Ghost Coast to Coast style humor on Elmo, but you might be able to get away with it on SpongeBob. But anyways, I remember as a kid seeing 1 or 2 episodes of the Brack Show randomly on Adult Swim, because you know Adult Swim's airing schedule. They'll throw anything the fuck on that network at any time. And I was so intrigued by it. I thought the idea of Brack having a tiny German human father was just the most hilarious thing in the world to my 14-year-old brain. And yeah, Dragon, this is one of those shows where it's like you look back on it and you're like, what? Why did teenage me find this funny again? Space Ghost Coast to Coast holds up. I can equivocally say that. I have gone back to Space Ghost Coast to Coast. It holds up. This does not. This really does not, Dragon. This, there's a couple funny ideas here and there. Like I said, if you're going to give anything a highlight, it's going to be Zorak. But, oh man, this just goes to show, Adult Swim is such a weird animation studio. I really think there should be a documentary about Adult Swim, just in general, just kind of like how production works around there, because they just have such weird ideas come out of that studio, and the Brack Show is definitely one of them. All right, next up.
All right, I believe the last show we have here,
Yeah.
Wizards, Tales from Arcadia. Okay, I'm going to keep this simple. So this is the penultimate chapter.
I still can't wrap my mind around the whole like Guillermo del Toro verse where it's like there's like multiple shows and they all tie together. It sounds very convoluted, Dragon.
It works wonders though, man. It's really smooth.
All right.
So essentially,
some of the shows have multiple seasons and some of them don't have multiple seasons.
Let's see. Well, Troll Hunters has 3 seasons because I don't know if they knew there. Troll Hunters has 3 seasons with an ending.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have 3 Below. That's 1 season, but it's broken up into two halves.
But you see, this is where it's getting confusing.
Well, just again, it's one again. They're shows with endings, all right. They have just like just watch the 3 seasons of the one show, then you watch the other show, and then it's pretty simple.
Uh-huh.
In Wizards, it's like a one and done. That's what I'm saying. It's like 3 to 2 to 1. It's pretty simple.
Sure. All right.
Anyway, the point being, this is the penultimate chapter in Del Toro's Arcadiaverse. I thought it was the ending, but he's going to do like a spec, which is going to be the actual ending to the whole universe. Like a movie. Anyway, so the point is they set up this wizard character who was the lead of the show. Again, this is the cool thing about the Troll Hunter show. In the 3 seasons they set up the other 2 shows with these little characters, like having these really small little cameos in the show. You thought, oh, these are just other characters introduced in the last season or so, but they get spin-offs. So he was very silent, including the Troll Hunters, and they pay him off here. Colin O'Donoghue, the guy who plays Dukesy, the main wizard character of the show. He's like Merlin's apprentice.
Okay.
So Colin O'Donoghue, Captain Hook from Once Upon a Time.
Oh, nice.
So the premise of the show very simple.
In the 1 season I saw,
he is, and he's really good here too. I mean, I didn't recognize him. He plays a lot younger than you'd expect him to. He's cool.
Nice.
So here's the thing. So premise very simple for this season. It's all the characters, which again you've accumulated through the other shows. The characters are thrown back in time to the origins of the Troll Hunter, which of course includes Merlin and everything. They're in the Arthurian times. Like King Arthur is a character as well as Merlin here, and basically this is like the great puzzle piece to the whole universe they built up here. Like Stephanie Beatrice, she has a great role in this show. She has a big role. I won't spoil what it is if you ever watch the show, but she has a great role in this season as a new character. It's just the whole thing it was such a well thought out universe, and everything just kind of come together so nicely. It's just it's kind of like a Sorcerer's Apprentice sort of premise for this season here, and ties up the loose ends, fills in some blanks. It's quite nice.
Cool. All right. So, Dragon, after an hour and 33 minutes into this episode's movie memoirs, we finally get to August 2020.
Yes.
All right. Let's start with An American Pickle.
Okay, An American Pickle. This is a Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg production, and an HBO Max, one of the first HBO Max movies.
Yeah. Dragon, I got to admit, I'm probably more mixed on this than you are, but generally speaking, I enjoyed it a lot. I think it's a little too saccharine and sappy for its own good here and there in some places. Again, you know me, I'm a tone whore. If the tone isn't like perfect all the way through, it drives
you're on a
me
street
nuts.
corner for sure.
But really, the tone thing is like the only thing that really bothered me about this movie because overall, it's a pretty damn good movie. You know, I'm not going to say it's like Seth Rogen's masterwork or anything, but it's a lot of fun. It's got a unique premise. It's got a unique tone to it. Well, I don't want to say it's got that unique of a premise. It's basically Encino Man, but
that's
more
the thing.
clever.
It's kind of an update on Encino Man. Let's be honest.
But
it's got a little more heart than Encino Man. Encino's just
that's the thing. That's the thing. It kind of wears its heart on its sleeve a little bit more than I'd like it to, and that's kind of my main problem with it. Is I feel like they could have gone a little bit heavier and more edgy with the satire. But for what it is, it's a perfectly good, cute little movie, and I liked it. I'm not over the moon about it, but I liked it quite a bit.
I really like this, man. Again, I appreciate the heart on the sleeve quality. I love that there was heart within the absurdity and the satire of the piece. Like for me, it's like the seltzer water bit is what got me.
That was seltzer water. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It was so ridiculous, but again, you felt so just seeing everything everything Herschel went through in the past, like and just like the casualty. You kind of knew it was coming. Like you're on the edge of your seat. Is he going to get the water? He's getting the seltzer water. It's like his life's dream. It's amazing. And of course, later on, other bits that I won't fully explain. You know, the boop bop of it all. That was really touching. That was nice. That's what I'm saying. I love the. You know, it's like we take it's like we're so obsessed with the 23andMe ancestry of it all these days. Like, what if you took it the next step further?
I do not get the hype around that, by the way.
I
get it, it's interesting, but man, does it become a fad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if you took that fad, but you took it to the next level? Like, what if your ancestors came back, and then what if you met the ancestors you spent so much time looking into? And it's a nice commentary on kind of family and legacy and both the pros and cons. Like if this happened, like what are the good things? They get introduced in the seltzer water. What are the bad things? Well, they kind of think things happen.
Right.
And also, again, I love that first it's Paul Rudd on Netflix with him playing against himself. Then Mark Ruffalo doing the dramatic version on HBO.
The Paul Rudd thing.
Yeah, you do. And also the Mark Ruffalo thing. Those are two completely different ends of the spectrum. One slightly dark comedy, other one just drama.
Wait, what's the Ruffalo one? Remind me what the Ruffalo one is.
Ruffalo owns the drama. It's darn it.
I don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's This Much I Know Is True. That's what it's called. This Much I Know Is True.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's a wordy title. That's why I was searching for it there.
Right.
Anyway.
I had the hardest time for a long time trying to remember All Be Gone in the Dark.
Yeah, and Paul Rudd is Living with Yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I like Seth Rogen playing against himself, though. I thought he did a really good job, especially as the Herschel role. I love him. I love his performance as Herschel. That was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, the other character who I don't even remember is just baseline Seth Rogen. I don't remember the name of the character. It's just baseline Seth Rogen. But Herschel is definitely stepping out of his comfort zone a little bit for sure.
Yeah. Again, genius satire of like the rise and fall story and celebrity of like the crazes of today, where again you have like a crazy guy and people will worship him. That's kind of
right.
And that's what I'm saying. I love the satire in this. I think it turned out it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. That's why I was so impressed by it. Like it made me feel something, and kept me on the hook for the whole movie. It's like, okay, you did good, Seth Rogen, very good.
Okay, let's see. So, oh boy. All right, happy, joy, the Ren and Stimpy story. We did a whole podcast on this. I don't want to drag our feet on it too much.
Yeah, there's just cliff notes, it, man. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just a goddamn fantastic documentary. It's definitely getting hype, and I am happy to see people are, people are talking about it. But man, I feel like people aren't talking about it enough for what it is, and for how effective it is.
Best documentary of 2020. Best documentary film of 2020.
I would wager to say it's the best documentary period since Will You Be My Neighbor. I'll go that far.
I'd agree with you in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, just the way this uses the concept art and the archival footage. It's an editing masterclass, Dragon. There's no other way around it. It's an editing masterclass. It's just like. I like very, very rarely in a documentary will I be this wrapped up in everything. Go ahead.
Doesn't this give you a good feeling about the docs of the fall that are coming to us? Like all the Sundance stuff that's now going to be coming out, like starting from Happy Joy onward. Doesn't he? I mean, given the other thing.
Remind me what we have on the docket.
Well, that's the thing. I know there's shooting Clerks. It's kind of like a biopic sort of thing. But I mean, a lot of these Sundance. There's that. I can't remember what some of the rest are, but I'm saying I think if we get a documentary this good coming in the fall, like close to the fall, I think we're in good shape going forward. I don't know, it's just a feeling. I have nothing to back up.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I mean, just like I said, editing masterclass. Of course, the John K of it all is just God. It's endlessly compelling. I kind of talked in a little bit of a loop about how fascinated I am by the whole, the ambiguity of John Kay and his intentions and why he's telling the stories that he's telling and why he's delivering it the way that he's delivering it. I could psychoanalyze that shit all day, but I mean, overall, just fantastic. I mean, I don't want to, just sit. We could sit here and just talk until we're blue in the face about it. Exactly.
It's the Amadeus of animation documentaries, folks. It really is. It was a stunning debut for the director, for Ron Cicero and Kimo Easterwood. Apparently it's Cicero, by the way. It's not Cicero, as I would hope it to be.
Yeah, it's Cicero, yeah.
And it's it's everything I want it to be and more. We need more documentaries like this that basically just presented the facts. It lets leaves it ambiguous for the viewer to kind of like decide how they feel on things. Got some great accounts and it's
the ending sticks to landing.
It does. The ending absolutely sticks to landing. Basically, the whole premise is like what happens to nostalgia and in a hard work in animation when it comes at a price. That's kind of like the haunting kind of premise of the film that kind of gets into it. It's good, excellent stuff. Just I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be doubly happier with this thing.
All right. Okay, so next up, Class Action Park.
I saw this too, by the way.
How much did you know about Action Park going into this one, Dragon?
Just the Defunct Land thing.
Just Defunct Land. All right. I mean, that's more or less all I know, just because the Defunct Land video was pretty thorough with it.
Yeah.
But oh man, I'll pass it to you first, Dragon. What do you think of this? Because I feel like I'm more hardcore into Action Park than you are.
I gotta tell you, Class Action Park, it was a very gripping HBO Max documentary. Again, I'm still not as good, again, because this was amazing. Happy Joy still reigns supreme, but this was pretty good, though. This is, again, we got a little taste with Defunctland with this story about what it was, but this was the deep dive of this crazy 80s. I know it started in 78, but just go with me honestly. This crazy 80s story. It's like it's an oddity turned tragedy. That's what the story is. Like, oh look, it's Action Park. Oh, remember that? Like you're laughing it off, but I love that the documentary digs into. No, there's tragedy behind this, folks. Let me say this before I toss it back over to you.
Okay.
For me, this recaptured a horrifying moment from my youth, where I had a realization way back when I kind of learned that like the Disney parks as well as other theme parks in the universe and everything. When I learned as a kid that there were accidents have happened in theme parks on rides.
Wait, I'm sorry, I don't mean to psychoanalyze this, but did you see like a bad accident take place at a Disney park or something?
No. I'm just saying I read it somewhere and it's like, oh my god, like
gotcha.
Here's the thing, I read and I looked and I looked it up and there's like a whole list of imagine that horrifying moment where you think, oh, okay,
been there, done that, my
That's
friend.
what I'm saying. So this took me back to this whole documentary took me back to a little bit
To tell you
that
the
moment.
truth,
Like,
it
oh,
was
just that
never
realization.
traumatizing for me. For me, it was kind of morbidly fascinating, but yeah,
I mean, that's the thing.
feel
I had.
you, though.
I'm saying I had to recover from the morbid fascination once you get ready to go back to the Disney park. And again, I didn't bring it with me. I'm just saying, like, it
Are
kind
you
of stuck
kidding
with me
me?
for a little.
When I'm in the Disney parks, I'm like morbidly fascinated by it. But that's just me. I'm weird, anyways.
My point is, so it kind of took me back to, like, the idea that you're in this, like, this safe thing where nothing can go wrong, and of course we go to this place that's the antithesis of that, and it's the embodiment of, like, all those horror stories from the big parks. And a park is completely dedicated to anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Okay, so for me, this movie has a really interesting framing device to it, and I'm not honestly altogether sure how intentional it was. Basically, Dragon, when this documentary first starts out, it's essentially just like, hey, let's go through these memorable attractions that you all know and love. The looping water slide, isn't that a hoot? The Tarzan swing, we all remember the Tarzan swing. But then Dragon, of course, I feel like the turning point is definitely the asphalt slide. And once we get to the asphalt slide, oh my god, it takes a turn.
Absolutely.
And they kind of build on it. You know what I mean? It, like, because I got to be honest with you, when it first started, I was kind of just when it first started, like, oh, we're gonna talk about the water slide and the Tarzan Dragon. I was a little disappointed at first. I got to admit, because I was like, wait a minute, like what? Like like, with all due respect, this kind of feels like the toys that made us of Action Park. You know what I mean? Like, remember the looping water slide? Remember how cool that was? Let's go back to the looping water slide. But then, of course, Dragon, as you saw, documentary takes a turn. Definitely takes a turn. And holy shit, is this
Oh, the
thing a
Uncle
rabbit?
Gene of it all.
Is this thing a rabbit hole, man? Is this
It is.
thing a rabbit hole? I mean,
Great rabbit hole.
Dragon, I feel basically how I feel about, like, the documentary from essentially, like, once we get into the staff of it all, you know, and how the teenagers kind of had free reign in the Jersey culture. All I can say about all that stuff, Dragon, is like it genuinely feels like all this time I've been fascinated by Action Park. I've been staring at the tip of the iceberg. This was illuminating shit. All right,
It was. And again, just the chilling turns. That's what I'm saying. When again, it's like building upon itself. I just love that element of where again, it's like you have like the reality of like, oh yeah, this happened, folks. Turn ski resort into a water park.
I feel like Act One is just the baseline, kind of like this is what this is, and this is why it was cool, and why people have fond memories of it, right? Like Act One is basically the Defunct Land video.
Yeah.
And then Act Two is the 80s comedy.
Yeah, well, again, the 80s comedy. Yeah, I'd say comedy, but again, comedy that's slowly building in the dark slant to it.
No, sure.
Like,
it's
well, you're right.
There.
It's a little more,
there, but like
it's more
Act
of like,
Two,
can you believe how crazy this is? This happened, where we
so
set
what
up
I
the
appreciate
dream.
about Act Two is that it's very illuminating, because one of the things about Action Park is I never honestly considered the implications of, like, this isn't just a place where rowdy teenagers hang out. Oh no, this was a place that was run by rowdy teenagers. And that gave me a perspective shift on the whole thing, Dragon. It really did. And just the parties, the culture. This is the closest thing that we've ever had to a real life National Lampoon movie.
Sure. And
I'm sorry,
I gotta tell
Lampoon,
you,
not Lapoon.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, I love that. Basically, the kind of the draw of it is like from a distance. The whole the Gene Melville, sorry, Melville of it all. The Uncle Gene of it all is that I love that from a distance, and from this guy's mind, like from a distance, these all look like good concepts. Again, like that's kind of what the opening's all about. Like, hey, you remember this and the Tarzan? So from a distance, these look, such a wonderful, creative little concept there. Let's pat it on the head. But no, it's like from a distance, good concepts. Up close, and when you test them out and everything, always putting those poor kids through, like, teasing them with $100 bills at the end of the tunnel. It's up close. It's chaos. And that's the hook for me. It's like, that's like, oh my God, it's like, from a distance. Like, if you pitch me some of these, it sounds like a great idea. And of course, like in practice and the practicalities, it's a nightmare. Yeah. I love that we don't end cutesy.
Would you
on this,
say
by
the
way.
most? Oh no, yeah, we don't at all. No,
Because I was expecting the Johnny
And that's the
Knoxville
thing,
ending, we
Dragon.
didn't get it.
Oh, you saw that movie, right? The Knoxville.
Well, I know about it.
Action
I know about it enough. So,
Oh, okay, you don't need to watch it. You don't.
That's
need
what
to
I'm
watch
saying. I don't
it.
want to. I know what because I saw like Knoxville doing. He was in the Evil Knievel documentary. They showed stuff
Yeah,
from it.
basically, like Knoxville is just like a jackass for an hour and a half, and then it
Yeah,
ends
that
with,
point
like,
Action
heartfelt-
Points
Yeah,
as a version of Action Park being the point. So
Action Point, like the only thing that I'll say about Action Point is I appreciate the fact that it exists. I appreciate the fact that there's a comedy parody version of Action Park that actually exists. Like that, it's kind of like the Disaster Artist movie. You know what I mean? I'm not over the moon about the Disaster Artist movie, but I'm really glad it exists. Anyways,
yeah, and that's the thing. I like that we had him at the start of the movie to name the place essentially and do like the whole class action part. He named the documentary, and because of that, I expect him like ordinarily your cookie cutter documentary. I'm not saying cookie cutter. No, people like cookies. You have your cookie cutter documentary where you end with the and of course here's where we line up with today and where it went. And of course you're expecting Knoxville, but no, it had it had a very sobering ending. Where no,
oh, they
folks,
don't
this
mention
stuff
Knoxville
happened.
at all. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I love we had the sobering ending where no, folks, there's consequence to this.
All right. Yeah. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff.
Very good
like
stuff.
I said, if the
HBO
whole documentary was just like, remember the looping water slide, wasn't that fun? I would be gravely disappointed.
Yeah.
But fortunately, it is.
I was a
not
little
that.
worried about that at the start too. Like, oh boy, it's got to be better than this, right? Because I'm glad I was teased up a lot of good stuff in that trailer.
I feel like it was really intentional. I feel like that was intentional. It kind of lulled you into a false sense of security.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. All right. That was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, Phineas and Ferb, Candace versus against. I think it's Candace against the universe, not versus the universe. But
well, thanks for that.
Candace against the universe. Drake, I watched this once, like after work, so I was pretty tired. The one thing I really remember about it, and keep in mind this is only a few days ago, so I don't. When I'm reflecting on this one, Dragon, I don't like it nearly as much as I like Across the Second Dimension.
Stiff competition, though.
And keep in mind, this is coming from a very casual Phineas and Ferb fan who I'm not. I can't even call myself a Phineas and Ferb fan. I like what I've seen, but I can't call myself a fan. Just because I haven't seen enough of it. I've barely seen any of the show, so I feel like Jacob's more equipped to talk about this thing than either of us are.
Well, yeah,
but the show does have good running. The episode, the movie has good running jokes. The canoe thing is amazing. Killer soundtrack. The soundtrack is a banger. Always like a good soundtrack. That's also what saved the Steven Universe movie, in my opinion. But I got to admit, Dragon, I'm still not feeling the villain at all. I think the plot of this is a bit of a mess. I wish that Doof had a more relevant role. There's a lot of stuff I could nitpick about it.
I mean, look, I like the perspective shift, to Candace, and I think they did a nice job, just kind of like, kind of legitimizing the whole Candace running gag for a movie. And I liked Ali Wong's the bag. I like when they were bonding. I thought that was a lot of fun stuff. But I mean, I'll admit, for me, the problem is that they could have trimmed out some of the extra action stuff, the alien stuff, like all the whole race of the cowards. I didn't need any of those guys. And the third act goes on a little bit long with like, hey, we're running around from spores. It's what it is. Right. But again, on the whole, it was good. And it has one of the best fourth wall jokes ever. So that was awesome.
All right, Dragon, I'm just saying, you do know that the next one on the list I have not seen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. All right, so you saw the one and only Ivan. I wanted to watch this. I couldn't carve it into my schedule. I've just been super busy with the actual So You Want to Be an Imagineer game this month. On top of like binging a lot of stuff, to tell you the truth. But you seem to really like this, right?
Yeah, the one and only Ivan. I was surprised. One, I was surprised this was live action because I remember this being. I think it's something that became a Disney Plus. I don't think it was originally like a Disney Plus thing from the ground up. But then again, Disney Plus has been in the works under wraps for a little while longer than we all think it was. I believe. They were like getting this thing ready for a couple. My point is, I heard Cranston was supposed to do the one and only Ivan, which is based on it's based on a true story and a kid's book. And I heard Cranston was attached. I thought it was going to be an animated thing, potentially, that Cranston was going to do a voice in or something. I didn't know it was going to be live action, let alone on Disney Plus. When I found, oh my God, it's popped up, I was like, oh my God, how wonderful. Because I wanted to see this thing. And I got to tell you, man, it is a lot better than it has any right to be. I mean, this and Timmy Failure, they've been doing great on Disney Plus. I mean, this and Timmy Failure have impressed me a great deal. I mean, I think it's better than Timmy Failure, mind you. But that's what I'm saying. These two things, again, these movies have no right to be good, were quite wonderful. So this is basically, you'd love this, T. That's why I really wanted you. I was hoping you were going to watch this, because this was, you know the whole Ivan the Gorilla story. I won't bore you with it, but do you know it?
No, I can't say that I do.
Well, basically, the story of the movie is there is a mall it's called the Big Top Mall, where basically it's a mall with a circus built into it.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. Okay, I'm intrigued right away.
That's what I'm saying.
You know why? You know, based on my family history, why that intrigues me.
I know. That's why. That's why I really wanted you to watch the movie. And then I saw it. Oh my God, Tiki would love this. But anyway, so it's a mall with a circus setup. I forget if Cranston owns the entire mall, or he's the ringmaster of the circus, and the whole. I forget if he owns the whole mall or just like this part of the mall. Regardless, his main attraction is Ivan the Gorilla, which is played by Sam Rockwell.
This I knew.
Yes, and Rockwell always delivers, man. Rockwell is
is just, I mean, there was a time when I would say that Rockwell was the most underrated actor in Hollywood. I don't think that's true anymore after 3 Billboards, but he's still damn good.
Let's call Sam Rockwell the color red, because you always bet on Rockwell.
Oh God.
Anyway, so basically Ivan, he befriends this baby elephant. That's the main story of the movie. It's a real kind of cute story there. He befriends this new arrival as a baby elephant because they're trying to. It's low on business. They're trying to attract business. Cranston, he's excellent. He's very charismatic. He's a very charismatic ringmaster. He's not a bad guy at all. You root for him. Okay. He's kind of the opposition, but you love this. You fall in love with this guy. I mean, one, because he's Cranston, but two, more importantly, because he's a good character. There are no bigger than life elements that you'd expect. It's really grounded in a sense. Wow. Again, like I know you have Sam Rockwell kind of as a talking.
Okay, I got to admit, when I saw the posters and everything, I was thinking what the fuck is this? Is it like Greatest Showman? Is it like Dr. Dolittle?
Trust me, it's neither of those things. I think you'd really get a kick out of this. It's playing towards its limitations in a really good way.
I like that. I like movies that play towards their limitations.
That's the thing. It's grounded in a way that's not taken away, but it's working with we're limited here, but it works for our story, because the whole point of the story is that it's limited. It's like a big top in a mall, so it works. Danny DeVito, he has a really nice supporting role. He plays this dog as a friend to Ivan the Gorilla.
Of course, Danny DeVito is in this movie.
Trust me, though, he's not milking it or anything. He's just
just saying. Is it possible for Danny DeVito to be in a circus-themed movie? To not be in a circus-themed movie, I should say. Does that dude just have a Hollywood contract to be in every circus movie?
I'd like to think people just loved him in Big Fish. I like to think.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he was not in Greatest Showman, so. All right. Anyways,
to our knowledge, at least, he might have a cameo. We just never know. Mike White, he did.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
So Mike White wrote this, by the way. Mike White, the guy who wrote School of Rock.
Mike White, Survivor, David versus Goliath, third placer. Mike White, that Mike White.
Okay, I just want to clarify. You're being. It's not the same Mike White, right?
It's the same Mike White.
Really?
It's the same Mike White. Yes.
Skinny guy, same Mike White.
Yes, Mike White got all the way to the end. He placed second place on a Survivor season.
I think I found the one nice thing I can never say about Survivor. Mike White.
Dragon, you want to know something else? I actually think he played a damn good game, and if I were on the jury voting, I would vote for him over the winner.
Good to know.
Believe it or not, I feel like I almost like Dragon's radar, ooh, the need to watch Survivor radar just Just blip, just a tiny,
Yeah,
fraction,
tiny blip.
tiny fraction, tiny blip.
The needle moved, but it didn't move all the way. Okay.
Survivor David versus Goliath, if you're ever interested. He plays a really big role. But
Anyway, so, also he did Beatrice at Dinner, by the way. I know you like that movie. So
wait, he was Beatrice at Dinner?
he wrote that one, yeah.
I did not even pay attention to that. That's a fantastic movie.
As I'm saying, Mike White, he stars and he writes things, and he pops up all over the place. The point being, this movie has a lot going for Tiki. This movie is tailor-made for you, buddy boy.
I need to see it.
I really got a kick out of it. This is why I also wanted to put it on the
Why
post.
didn't you sell me on the mall and the circus thing? The circus and the mall. Why didn't you sell me on that more?
Well, this is the lesson of maybe when I suggest you watch something, maybe don't linger on it and sit on it forever.
All right.
Anyway.
Fair enough.
All right. So point being, I highly recommend it. I really like it.
Okay. All right, next up, live from the space stage, a Halix story. Dragon, my God, 3 for 3 in terms of super niche pop culture documentaries that are really good.
I didn't finish this, but I thought it was well made.
You didn't finish it?
I didn't finish it.
Wait, hold on. Did you get to the turn in the third act?
Oh.
Oh, you need to finish it.
You'd say it's that good, eh?
Dragon, here's the thing. The third act is what makes it.
Really?
Yeah, okay, here we go. I'll admit the first act is kind of a little bit generically, oh, this is a crazy idea, and we're going to...
See, that's what I'm saying. That's kind of like...
And we're going to get these people together. Okay, basically, Dragon, here's how I'm going to break down this documentary. Act 1 is all that stuff, the whole, it's a crazy idea. We're going to get all these people together, interviews with the people and everything, pretty basic stuff. Act 2 is essentially people's memories of the show, and my God, Dragon, the show itself is just batshit crazy and just honestly the most fucking intriguing thing I've ever seen Disney do at a Disney park. I mean, I would live for this if it was actually at Disneyland today. And then the thing is, Dragon, with Act 2, you get more and more personal into the people on stage. And there's actually a husband and wife. Basically the stormtrooper drummer guy and the lead singer were husband and wife. And did you get that far into it?
I don't think I did.
Dragon, you need to watch it, Dragon. You gave up on it too soon. You gave up on it too soon, man.
Well, to be fair, I was asked that can I make a judgment call on it. I was like,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I was kind of, it looks nice, but I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it was going to be my bag.
You're saying it's feedback to read to Ace Astro on air.
I did, and I believe that. I do follow that, though.
All right, anyways.
I stand behind that. Again, I thought
now
it was
I'm going to do a Larry David. This is a Larry David. You don't give feedback for something that you've watched a half hour of, Dragon. You don't. Okay, I'm going to collect myself. I swear to God, this show has changed me for the worst. But no, I swear to God, Dragon, I find at work the little things people do annoy me more because of Curb. I'm not even joking. I wish I wish I were joking about that.
That's not going to backfire on you at all.
But no, Drake, here's the thing, through this husband and wife and the effect, I don't want to give anything away because I trust you'll actually take my word for it, unlike me, because I know I'm not trustworthy with this kind
you're
of
not.
But the husband and wife, they it's a story, man. It's a story. I don't want to give anything away, but let's just say what happens with the band significantly affects their relationship. And Dragon, there's one gobsmacking moment in this documentary. I know that's going to get to you. I know it. So, yeah, you're going to have to watch it for that.
You know what? I did get to the beginning of the relationship. Now you mentioned that. I didn't get to the interesting stuff you're talking about, though, but I did get to the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, there's really the career paths kind of, because obviously, spoiler alert, Halix doesn't stick around all that long. And of course, the interesting stuff kind of comes from after Halix. So it really does, Dragon. It's not the best structured documentary in the world. I'll give it that much. If I were editing it, I might introduce some of the more dynamic emotional stuff earlier on. I'll admit that. But man, I gotta tell you, the one gobsmacking moment, and you'll know it exactly when you get to it. It'll knock you on your feet, buddy boy.
So, well, I'll definitely give it a bit. I'll give it another watch.
Yeah, I'll be curious to know what you think of it in the catch-up next month.
Yep. Right.
Okay, Project Power. Jesus Christ, Dragon.
This one. Okay, remember all the nice stuff I said about the one and only Ivan?
Yes.
So this and how I recommended to you, I knew was actually absolutely up your alley.
Wait. Okay, so Project Power is just entirely not up my alley?
Well, yeah, this one is entirely not up your alley, because I know you wouldn't have the patience for this thing.
Oh, you better believe it.
That's what I'm saying. So basically, inverse. I'm not saying in quality that it's like Project Power is not the worst thing ever or anything. It's fine. That's it. It's just fine, man. But you can't stand fine. So
No, I can't. I really can't.
That's what I'm saying. This is basically this is fine. I know. In my heart of hearts, I like think. You know what? Maybe one day he'll run across it and he'll just watch something. He'll never do it.
It'll never happen. It'll never.
That's what I'm saying. It'll never happen. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to the point being, I'm going to keep it simple. All right, I'm just keep it simple. Okay, just to break it down. So Project Power, I thought was fine. It was a cool premise. It was a cool premise, but here's the problem: there's just not enough of it. They don't do enough with it.
Yeah.
It's like a pill that awakens superpowers for 5 minutes. You take a pill, you have power. You have one power.
I struggled to get through the old guard Dragon. That's
what I'm saying. This is no old guard is legitimately good. You're just I don't know. That's just you. But Project Power, this would be a harder sell if I can't get you on board.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. The premise alone is like it's a cool premise. Like, I love limitless. I love the idea of like an hour man. Like the idea the pill gives you powers and stuff like that. And like a time limit. That's cool. And this is like it's like in that vein, but again, we don't do enough with it. It's you have Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Jamie Foxx, excellent star power. That's what kind of sold me on the movie initially. But yeah, it's basically it's fine that Jamie Foxx is kind of bonding with the girl character of the movie, the Robin character. So that's that's kind of nice. She's like she's a dealer and an aspiring rapper. It's it's what it is. It feels like it may have been more warranted as a series. It might have been able to do more and work better as a series, that given more time and more landscape with the premise. But I do appreciate the film as an ending and the simplicity of it. Just again, too much simplicity. So Project Power is what it is.
Gotcha. All right. 2 others, Dragon. You want to rapid fire?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, rapid fire. Yeah. Okay. So this one, Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons. Okay, so the CWC, they've done some animated stuff, and originally it's supposed to be a series, but they kind of gave up on it, and then they made an animated movie. And the animated movie, it's pretty good. It's a great one-off for Deathstroke. I wish Deadpool got this treatment in animation. That's the thing.
That'd
it's
be
like
great. It's not like there was an animated show we were all excited for or anything.
Yeah. As I'm saying, this feels like the more, again, obviously Deathstroke more serious character than Deadpool, but again, it looks exactly what you would want the Deadpool show to look like in terms of the action and stuff like that. So it's very accurate. Like if you knew nothing about Deathstroke, mind you, they don't address any of the Teen Titans stuff here, but if you take that out of the equation, this is like all the stuff you really need to know about Deathstroke. It's very accurate. It's Michael Chiklis plays Deathstroke, and he does an excellent job.
Okay.
He's really good.
Casting.
That's what I'm saying. It's really good. This is like an hour and 20-minute movie or so.
Of course, the last time I saw Chiklis, it was guilty.
Trust me, I think you'd love it. Of course, Deathstroke. The idea.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That was a fucking barrel of laughs.
It went places, folks. So, but yeah, so Deathstroke, of course, mercenary with his own code. Like he only takes jobs and mercenary jobs that he believes in. Like like he'll double cross a guy if he doesn't like what he does. Mm-hmm. And basically the whole premise of the movie, he's trying to save his son, and in the process he destroys his family in a litany of ways. Litany of ways. So again, Deathstroke 101, good action, good animation. It's a little anime-esque, and it's really cool in that regard. It's again, I'd recommend it. It's a quick watch. It's a lot of fun. It's cool stuff. Right. Okay, so the Sleepover. This one a lot briefer. I'd recommend this to you just for nostalgia's sake, Tiki. The Sleepover is kind of like a throwback to the Nickelodeon, Nickelodeon films of our youth.
All right.
It's Ken Marino's in it. Manfredi from Agent Carter. He plays kind of the goofy dad in this, and he's so hilarious.
All right, that's all well and good, but I really want to hear about Joe Manganiello.
I was about to get to that, but Joe Manganiello. That's the reason I checked this out. Manganiello, he plays a little bit off of Marino in a really fun way. I like the banter he and Marino have, but Manganiello, he has a role in the movie, but it's not a main role in the movie. He's like that's the thing. He kind of plays a. We learn that the mother, who's played by Malin Ackerman, Silk Spectre from the Watchmen movie. She's she's an ex-thief, spy-ish character. She's like a master thief who has like spy stuff to do thieving jobs and everything. Manganiello was her partner. That's how that goes. So the kids stumble into their mom's past and they got to save the parents. It's kind of that. I know little spy kids, but it really has like a Nickelodeon vibe. And it's really refreshing in that regard. This was cute. It has some gross out gags I'm not crazy about. But it's a nice little family comedy. I'd recommend, for cutesy's sake, I'd recommend it. It's like, and then got Manganiello in there. What's not to love? No Pee-wee's Big Holidays. I'm too excited.
All right. Okay, and with that, let's get to some catch-up. Yeah. All right, so this doesn't feel like catch-up, Dragon, because this is the first time either of us have had the opportunity to watch this.
Yeah.
But Howard...
Yeah, Howard. Of course, we did another whole thing on Howard, so I guess kind of the vague cliff notes.
Oh my God, I just realized that's yet another great documentary this month.
That's what I'm saying.
This month, what is with this month in documentaries, Dragon? Wow.
Yeah, I got a good documentary. Because of this month, I got a good feeling like going forward for like this half of the year. I think we're going to get some good docs this year.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so Howard, of course, Disney Plus finally brought this to us, so we could finally watch it again. It's like this great spin-off of Waking Sleeping Beauty. Of course, Don Hahn, please do more documentaries, Donnie boy, please. It's a very intimate look at the man's life, very informative. Could have used some Proud of Your Boy, so folks, if you're looking for Proud of Your Boy, look elsewhere yet again.
Yeah, unfortunately,
One
Proud of Your Boy snuffed once again.
And this is the one it should be in, darn it.
Well, to be fair, it definitely should have been in the live-action remake, but...
Well, that too, but yeah, you're right, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is in the Broadway show, though.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I mean, one thing we should mention with Howard, it's more relevant. This movie is more relevant than ever, given like we have yet another creative who knows that they're running out of time and doing the Lord's work, so to speak. They're doing great things that are going to impact the culture for years to come. So again, much like kind of we're facing this month. So Howard was very appropriate.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Next up, Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Dragon, this has just been like one of my blank spots in terms of what?
You kind of jumped over mine.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Can I guess what this is?
Sure.
Okay, either this or mystery movie number 2 is going to be the Peanut Butter Falcon.
No.
Neither of them?
No.
Well, really? I'm genuinely kind of surprised because that's on like multiple streaming services at this point.
Well, no, I haven't watched it.
Well, okay, I would highly recommend it, but all right.
I know you do. I got to take your after all the Safdie brothers stuff. I got to take your recommendations with a grain of salt these days.
Peanut Butter Falcon might. I don't know if you'll enjoy it as much as I do.
That's what I'm saying. I got to be trepidatious, and I'll hear your recommendations out, but I'm just saying some of them I can't just barrel into these days.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this one though, I did. Mystery movie number uno, Richard Jewell. Finally, I was able to... Cool. I've been wanting to see this one forever.
I know you have, dude. All right, this is like one of the most underrated movies of 2019. Would you agree?
Yes. I love this so much. I thought this was great.
Good. Rockwell, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So again, by the time I get to... Yeah, so think about it, by the time I get to the one and only, I'm already on a Rockwell kick, so it's like...
And, my God, Paul Walter Hauser is one of the most fascinating new actors in Hollywood. I mean, I know he's not technically new, but he's one of the most fascinating kind of rising stars in Hollywood
gently
right
used.
now. Yeah.
This movie. It's more relevant than ever before. Like how society we demystify our heroes
Is
in the
Paul
media.
Walter Hauser our Poncio?
Well, he was in consideration, but no, we went with someone else for Ponce.
Oh, okay. Anyways, go ahead.
He was in consideration though. Anyway, so but that's the thing. So Richard Jewell, just again, this we're all about like how we demystify heroes in the media these days. So we can't just have good things. We always got like put them under a microscope, and we see like an up close impact on those under scrutiny, and it's such a harrowing experience. And again, as Tiki said, Walter Hauser's fantastic. Sam Rockwell, though, he's a gift to this movie. He deserves an Oscar for this and Jojo Rabbit. I'm pretty sure he got it for Jojo Rabbit, didn't he?
No, I don't think so. I could be
Darn
wrong.
it. Well, the point being, just give him more Oscars.
He
Anyway.
definitely got it for 3 billboards.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I know he got. I could have sworn he also got it for JoJo. I could be wrong though. But the point being, just give him. 2019 should be more. Let's give more Oscars to Rockwell for 2019. Anyway, but that's the thing. I love. Okay, well, there you go. That's the. Oh man, he really should have got it for one of those movies, if not both. It's impossible.
Well, to be fair, that was Brad Pitt's first Oscar, and it was well deserved. So
yeah, sure, yeah.
Hey, what do you mean, sure?
No, I'm saying there was a lot of good.
Come on, don't disrespect the Pit, man.
No, but wasn't there a lot of good competition for supporting though?
I'm on the Pit stop. I think Pitt deserved it.
The Pit stop.
That just popped into my head.
That was good.
Popped into my head.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Anyway, sorry, I gotta work my way back from the Pit stop. All right, anyway, but yeah. So Rockwell was great. I love the lawyer. The lawyer befriending the security guard. I thought that was such a great idea. I love this. I love they stayed with him through all of it because he was a good man. It kind of had like the whole thing. You gave him like $100 or whatever. Give him a bill, to make sure he stays on the straight and narrow and doesn't become a prick. I thought that was great. Again, it's about like why looking for scapegoats and instant solutions is wrong. And again, that's more relevant than ever before. I love how timely this thing was, despite being in the 90s. John Hamm, of course, I love John Hamm. He's the Bat. I know Pattinson Pat's had his potential. I still would love to see a John Hamm Batman at one point in time. I don't know. It'd be great. Regardless, John Hamm, he plays hypocrisy so well in this, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, he won't hold a mirror up to himself, man. Eastwood may have outdone him. I think Eastwood may have outdone himself for this movie.
Okay, let me ask you one thing. The one thing that people were like up
the Olivia Wilde thing, right?
Yeah.
I think the bro, she did something bad in that she I know it didn't go down exactly like the movie.
My take on it is that I feel like Eastwood's a little out of touch, but yeah, he's out of touch. Do you know how old that dude is? And it's like a very small blemish on an otherwise very compelling movie. So I don't discount the fact that it's a tiny bit problematic, but I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Well, that's not exactly. That wasn't what I was thinking of at all. But I was thinking more along the lines of the character. From what I understand, like she didn't sell the secrets for sex, so to speak, as the movie kind of.
Well, yeah, that's the big controversy. Yeah, that's
right.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah. I'm saying overall. I say just look at like the totality, though. The totality is she did something really bad in the movie. I think the movie well represented that. She did it for ego. She didn't get all the facts, and she learns that really horrifically in the movie. Like, oh God, she didn't bother to check it out.
She does have a good arc. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. In that regard, I felt it was accurate. So I'll admit,
that's what I'm saying. I can forgive the small blemish.
Exactly. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Then with I love this movie. It's fantastic.
Nice. Happy to hear you liked it so much. All right, now we're going to talk about Treacherous.
Back to a regular scheduled programming.
All right, so this has been on my pop culture. My kind of I don't want to say pop culture. It's not necessarily my classic movie. Watch list for the longest time. Dragon, I was a little busy this month with So You Can Be an Imagineer and everything, but man, I am intending to take advantage of that Turner Classic Movies tab on HBO Max, my friend. That is one of the most tantalizing things on HBO Max for me. Speaking of which, I have I might have a guess as to what Mystery Movie 2 might be because of that. I don't know. But if it is what I think it is, then I'll be very intrigued to hear your thoughts. Anyways, So, Dragon, what got me to watch this was a James Rolfe review. Actually, James Rolfe has been doing these rental reviews, and some of them are better than others. But what I really like is when he highlights classic movies like this, because it gives like wannabe film snobs like me a reason to actually check out blank spots on my film resume. And Dragon, I mean, I'm a big Bogart fan, man. I love Maltese Falcon. I love Casablanca even more. I mean, I'm not a diehard Bogart fan. I don't know a lot of his deep cut stuff, but I like the classic stuff from Bogart. African Queen. Oh my God! Don't get me started on how much I love African Queen.
Petrified Forest. That's one you should look into. Petrified Forest.
Petrified Forest. What?
Yeah, Petrified Forest.
What about it?
I'm saying I believe it's Bogart.
Oh, in terms of deep cut.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. Okay, sorry. You just kind of threw that. I was like, wait, what about a Petrified Forest? Sorry, my bad. But I mean, African Queen, Dragon, I like that movie even more than I like Casablanca. I mean, that movie is my
big African Queen fan. I didn't place that for you.
I love African Queen.
I love Treasure of the Sierra Madre. I'm really interested to see what you thought about this.
I love it too. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's a classic for a reason.
My grandfather and I, we always quote lines from Treasure of the Sierra Madre, like the whole "steak a fellow American to a meal." I love that line.
The thing that drew me into this movie from James's review, all I knew about this movie ever was the fact that it was a treasure hunt movie. Ooh, treasure hunt. What James illuminated on was the fact that it's not necessarily about the treasure hunt. It's more about the greed of the treasure.
Mm-hmm.
That got me to watch it, and oh man, it's good. Oh, it's good. It's juicy, Greg. There's some juicy drama in here, buddy boy. Oh man.
How great is the score?
Oh, it's wonderful. I mean, for a movie as old as this is, the suspense and tension here with these guys is so palatable. Great stuff. Of course, I love the way it's shot. We don't get movies like this. I mean, obviously, this is a very old movie, so it's kind of redundant to say we don't get movies like this anymore. But man, we really don't. The last time we saw a movie on this sort of scale, in terms of, just on-camera locations, I don't know, like something like Lord of the Rings in New Zealand. It's been a while. We don't see this sort of on-location. It's all just like fucking Jon Favreau. I'm gonna go into VR and create my own digital landscape. It's gonna be better than the original. It's gonna. Sorry. I'm sorry. Wow, I just went on a little journey there. But
I'm gonna let the folks aim the arrows at you. I'm just gonna step aside.
You know what? They when it comes to Jon Favreau, they can, man. They can. I love Jon Favreau for his other work, dude. But that guy just shat the bed when it comes to Lion King 2019, and I make.
Well, he did. You're right. He did. I'm just wondering how much goodwill again with the whole. Look what he did with the Void. How dare you? Anyway,
Dragon. I don't think anyone is gonna fight me about Jon Favreau shitting the bed on the Lion King 2019. Okay, I really don't.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, I'm on your side. I'm just saying. I don't know, but okay.
The thing that bothers me, the reason why I go to Favreau is that just Favreau was so pretentious about the technology, man. He really was. That's why I put a lot of the blame on his shoulders.
Anyway, getting back to Sierra Madre, here, I don't know if you know this. If I recall correctly, one of the big remarkable things about Sierra Madre is that John Huston, the guy who directed it, he had a cameo. You saw John Huston in the movie, right?
Yeah. No, I know he plays one of the characters. Yeah.
Yeah, and he directed his father, Walter Huston.
I'm sorry. That's right, Walter Huston. That's what I was talking about. Yeah,
I'm saying there are two Hustons. Like John Huston he was the guy who steak a fellow American to a meal. The guy with the money in the hand.
Walter Huston is the guy who was in this movie,
yes.
Right?
Yeah, there's like the famous Walter Huston dance when they think they find the goal, like da 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 da. He got an Oscar. The son got an Oscar for directing the father. It's quite wonderful.
Oh wow, that's cool. All right, nice. Okay, movie number 2. Dragon, is it My Dinner with Andre?
Oh, I've seen My Dinner with Andre.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay.
We've had this conversation.
Oh, drugs are bad, kid. Don't do drugs.
Oh man, it's been a long while since I've rewatched it. I've seen that.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway,
short-term memory just gets shot, as you know.
no stinking badges. All right.
Okay, so what is the catch-up? What is the
I really
mystery?
thought you were. I really thought you were going to know this one. Okay. Little Women.
Oh shit! Okay. Okay, I was pretty big on this one.
All right, so now bear in mind, I'm not overly familiar with the original.
I knew
so,
nothing about the book going into this movie, Dragon. Nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
I had read it in high school. Nothing. Nada.
I pretty much went into this thing clean. So I pretty
Uh-huh.
much went into this thing
Same
clean.
here.
I got
Same here.
So here's how I feel about it. It's okay.
Damn you.
Now, to be fair, now in parentheses,
It's more than okay.
I'm getting to that.
All right. All right. Go ahead.
I think it's okay.
Go ahead.
Now, bear in mind, maybe not my kind of movie, but I
What do you think
liked.
of the framing device?
I'm getting there.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Any more intrusions? Okay.
Go ahead.
I do really like the framing device, the whole, because I also love the actor within the framing device. I like the frame, like the whole book thing within the movie. That's great. The Mr. Dashwood of it all, hence the frame device. Tracy Letts, who, by the way, I really like this guy additionally because Ford vs. Ferrari, he plays Henry Ford.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so I mean that was great. The things I liked, Florence Pugh, she's probably my favorite part. I really liked her. Amy.
Florence fucking Pugh she had one of the most amazing years I've ever seen an actress have in 2020, man.
Between this, Fighting with My
Family, and then Midsommar.
So my favorite scene in the movie is the scene she has with I believe it is Chalamet, right? At the start where she's on the carriage with Meryl Streep and she goes off the carriage and she's like her old buddy, right? Is that Chalamet?
Yeah. That's Chalamet. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that's that whole scene. That's my favorite scene in the movie because it's just such a nice little scene. She's really good in, just really overexcited. This is not a mark against the movie. Just kind of notice. Well, I mean, maybe it's a mark for me, but it's not like an objective mark. It's that it has multiple endings, and I think the final one is really nice. It ends really again with the framing device and everything put into play.
It does have really nice. That's one of the things I remember in the theater. Yeah, you're not wrong.
It ends just too many times, and it's like, oh man, this movie does not need to be as long.
You know what? I've always defended the ever-living hell out of Return of the King's multiple endings because you need them, and I don't give a shit what anyone else says.
That's what I'm saying. Return of the Kings is something. From what I understand, that's a different bowl of wax. That's like that one kind of might need.
People always bitch about the endings, but I'm like, no, they cut shit out of that, man. Like you need everything past everything in that ending is critical. Everything. As a diehard Lord of the Rings fan.
See, when you have multiple endings, the big takeaway is the last ending like the end all be all? Because if that's not the case, then you have a problem. Anyway, so basically, it's like honestly, I think the thing that kind of lost me is the Chalamet love triangle. That kind of lost me.
Sure.
I'm just saying, like that's what I'm saying. Overall, I mean, it's okay. It's just like, it didn't really thrill me. But again, maybe not my kind of movie. I don't know. It's like, and of course, obviously, not enough Odenkirk do that. Probably had a factor. And I know it's the point.
Bob is barely in this movie. That's
what I'm saying.
If you were going in expecting a Bob Odenkirk movie,
you're
going to be poorly disappointed.
I wasn't expecting him. Once the movie started, I realized, oh yeah, it's going to be the one his father hasn't come home yet. Stories. I get that.
That being said, I like how reserved and soft spoken he was in the limited screen time he did get.
Yeah, sure.
He played against type. I thought, he kind of, he was much less like over the top than his usual Saul Goodman shtick.
I really like Chris Cooper was good in the movie though.
He was, yeah.
I think Pugh and Chris Cooper really impressed me anyway.
So my take on Little Women really quick, I adore it. I'm sorry, I make no bones about it. But I think the reason I adore it is because it's genuinely one of the most clever adaptations I've ever seen, and I'm a big fan of when an adaptation does something different. So here's the thing, Dragon. The book, don't give a shit about it at all. Really, I don't. It's it's just like just chronologically telling the story of these sisters and the trials and tribulations. The movie Dragon, the big difference between the book and the movie in terms of framing device is that the book goes in chronological order. The movie breaks stuff up pre-death, post-death, right?
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. That to me, like, that does everything to make this movie just super duper compelling to me. But that's just me. I don't know. I mean, I tend to get into these like quirky little human melodramas and shit like that more than you do. You know, you're like, I don't say this in a negative way, but you're more of the spectacle, high concept kind of guy, and this movie is like kind of the antithesis of high concept in a lot of ways. But so you don't think Gerwig deserved an Oscar for this, a nomination? Because that was a big controversy.
I mean, look, I think she should. I mean, look, I think she should have been nominated, but I'm missing if we're.
I'm not saying she should have won because it was a stacked year this last year,
Yeah.
but I think there is room for, especially on fucking Todd Phillips, man. Don't get me started.
I don't want to debate you on the Todd Phillips. I think he did a really good. But again, let's not. I don't
He did a really good job remaking Taxi Driver.
Well, what's so wrong with that, though? That's what I'm saying.
It's
What's
not
so
original.
wrong?
That's what's wrong with it.
Oh,
It's not his style. It's Scorsese. It doesn't have his fingerprints on it. It has Scorsese's fingerprints.
And it's more King of Comedy than it is Taxi Driver, anyway.
And that's also Scorsese. And in terms of King of Comedy, it's a beat by beat remake almost.
It was an inverted version of King of Comedy. It doesn't matter.
And Dragon, just to be clear on the Joker thing, I don't hate Joker. I like it just fine. It's a fine movie. I hate the fan base though. All right, I no disrespect to anyone who's listening if they're in that fan base, but I think people like that movie for entirely the wrong reasons. I'm talking specifically about the people who are like, yeah, Joker's so badass and counterculture, bro. He's gonna tear down society. And frankly, I don't think we have anyone like that in our
takeaway from the movie. You should be horrified by the end, not like, yeah.
Dragon, I swear to God, there's a fan base out there who like fist pumps at the fucking Robert De Niro bit, and it just makes me cringe.
I appreciate that's what I'm saying. I love like that whole. That's what I appreciate about the Joker movie. What I really like is that it gets to that point of like, oh God, it's like we've gotten here, and it's really horrifying.
I'll give you an example though. My sister actually works in the system trying to help disabled people. You know, kind of, she's like a legitimately like kick-ass version of what that counselor should be. You know what I mean? At the start of the movie. And Dragon, she loves this movie, but she loves it because of the like pitch black satire of it all. You know what I mean? She digs it because it's essentially like a really, really dark, cynical satire on mental illness. And society's reaction to it. Anyways, we're trailing off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, what's next?
All right, let's see. Next,
The Firebloods.
Yeah, hey, The Firebloods. What'd you think?
All right. So clearly, I watched this for Bozeman, and he's not in it a bunch, but I had a good time with it. Obviously, I watched Treasure of Sierra Madre before I watched this. I gotta say, not a great comparison. I mean, Treasure of Sierra Madre.
They're looking for the gold, and there's a mad. One of them goes mad, and it goes green. There was a parallel.
No. I'm saying it does feel like Sierra Madre. I'm just saying it's an inferior version of Sierra Madre. That's what I'm getting at.
I'm saying Spike Lee's version of it. So.
Sure. Dragon, kind of what I was worried about with this movie kind of came true. Where it is a passion project from Spike. With Spike, it has to be the right subject matter for me. And obviously that's very much, I will fully admit to being the whitest man on the internet when it comes to that stuff. But Black Klansman was a concept that I could latch onto and I could find a lot of like fascinating like enjoyment out of. This, not so much. I respect this movie more than I actively like this. I don't think I'd go back and rewatch it. I respect the hell out of it though. It's a good character study. I don't know. It's pretty slow paced. It's a bit of a slow burn. Frankly, these days I'm a little burned out by these 2.5 hour movies and the fact that the average runtime for a movie is pushing 2.5 hours more than it's pushing 2 hours. I don't want to fault the movie for that though. It's just a general observation I have about film in general these days. But yeah, I don't think this is a Black Klansman by any means, but it's also certainly, like obviously a lot better than something like Old Boy in Spike Lee's repertoire. It's certainly got passion behind it for sure. Whereas I literally Dragon with Old Boy. There's a clip that I go to with Spike Lee where he just seems so bored, and he's just like, yeah, I tell a bunch of stories with my films. Old Boy's gonna be another one. I'm like, oh God, he sounds like he doesn't want to do it at all. But anyways, it's a really good movie. I just, like I said, with the pacing and the fact that it's such a slow burn, I can't really see myself like going back to it all that much. But obviously, as the whitest man on the internet, I'm not really the target demographic for this to begin with.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, that kicks it back to me. Jumanji, the next level.
I still need to see this. Is it on streaming anywhere? Or
I thought you saw this. You didn't see this?
No, I haven't seen this. No.
Okay. It's it is on here I know what it is. This was on Stars. I had a free trial of Stars for the weekend.
Stars, god damn it.
That's why I was able to watch it. It was
that annoys me.
Yeah, that's how I got it in there. That that and Little Women. That's how I got Little Women too.
I was kind of wondering about Little Women. Yeah. All right.
Yes, that's how I. Yeah, that's anyway. Otherwise, I wouldn't have really saw it out. But again, like, hey, it's on Stars and it's available, so this is the time to watch it.
Right.
All right. So Jumanji Next Level. I got to tell you, man, it's a good continuation. I don't think it's like many things, not as good as the original. But again, it was a solid continuation.
Here's how I feel about that, though. I feel like with the original, it's just kind of like comfort food, blockbuster entertainment. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not going into Jumanji the Next Level like all stoked up, like, oh man, it better live up to the high bar set by the original. Like, as long as I get some fun times and some cool action set pieces and some funny shenanigans with the cast, I think I'll be pretty much satisfied.
That sounds like it checks all your boxes. Then.
Like the Jumanji movies are like the closest thing I can think of to just like sheer comfort food blockbusters. At least Welcome to the Jungle was.
Yeah, Welcome to the Jungle feels really comfy, doesn't it?
It totally does, man. It really does. I don't know why.
It does. It just feels. Anyway. So here's the thing. My thing with Jumanji still, and again, the ending of this movie kind of changed. I won't spell everything out for you, but it's like it still feels the new Jumanji franchise I've been getting. It still feels like a good franchise, but under a different name. Like it doesn't necessarily need to be Jumanji. It's just more of like this video game franchise than it is like the original Jumanji. But take it for what you will. I mean, I like it. That's the point. Danny DeVito and Danny Glover, the gimmick that they have in the movie is fun, being that, I mean, you saw the trailer for this thing, right?
Yeah.
Which, of course, basically, when people, because the game's in disrepair since the ending of the first movie, they get swapped. The bodies don't get.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah,
right. Anyway, so it's really fun to see The Rock play Danny DeVito. It's quite fun. It's it's a little heavy on the body switching stuff, I'll admit. Fun video game movie stuff. There's some really cool stuff in the third act, and I gotta tell you, it teases a really promising third film if they do it.
Oh, nice, cool.
There's a really good tease for a new one. If it's going the way I think if it's pointing in the direction I think it's pointing, it could be really interesting. This third movie.
All right.
Okay.
Next up.
Right. Next up. Okay, these are going to go by pretty. This next one's going to go by pretty quick. Magnum Opus, the making of Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Now this is on Amazon if you want to watch it. It's a good kind of double feature. If you watch Reboot and you really get into it, then you want to learn about the making of it. It's pretty much this. It's a little Josh Rouse, their effects guy during the podcast, sound guy and everything. He made a documentary based on the film. It's pretty straightforward behind the scenes stuff. It's a companion piece. It's kind of a chronological look at the production. Kevin Smith, we kind of have like the revival through line where, again, he almost died, and of course he wanted to make the movie, and parables to the Jason Mewes getting on the straight and narrow. It's pretty nice. It's how Jason Mewes going to help will it into being and everything. So it's pretty straightforward, pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
If you got nothing better to do, I'd recommend it. Like, hey, let's watch that.
All right. Dragon, I've been on a roll with great movies, right? This has been a kick-ass month.
Yeah.
All right. You know my thoughts on Colin Trevorrow, whatever the fuck,
Yes, Trevorrow.
however you say this hack's name.
Yes, Colin Trevorrow. What
Does this give away how I felt about this thing?
It's pointing me in a direction, buddy.
All right, safety not guaranteed. This is the movie that jump-started Colin Trevorrow's career, and for the life of me, I can't understand why. You know what this movie reminds me of, Dragon? It reminds me of like all those stupid ass, like quirky for quirky's sake indie movies that came out in the wake of Little Miss Sunshine. Oh man, this was the only reason I watched this is that you were pressuring me to put more stuff on my catch up.
Yep.
And this was like an hour and 20 minutes. So it was a short sit. I figured, like, well, let's see if Trevorrow actually ever had any talent. Nope. I don't know, Dragon. Just I'm sure there's fans of this movie out there. This movie feels to me like how Sorry to Bother You, I've heard Sorry to Bother You described to people who aren't in on that movie. Which is just shit happens. It's all over the place. There's time travel involved. The basic premise is that it's based on a true story, which is kind of intriguing, I guess. It's one of those movies like that Eisenberg movie from God knows how long ago, about the pizza delivery guy, where it's like vaguely based on a true story, but the actual interesting true story isn't really there.
Right, you mean the bomb necklace thing?
Yes, that yes.
Yeah, there's a Netflix. You saw the Netflix.
I saw that. Yes, I
right.
did see that.
Sorry, it's been a while. It's one.
Okay. But so essentially the whole thing is the premise is that somebody answers a help wanted ad of basically the help wanted ad is we're going to time travel. This is not a joke. You must bring your own weapons. Safety not guaranteed, but you're going to get paid for it. So it's basically a help wanted ad to go back in time. And the person who answered the ad has disappeared, and it's a team of journalists trying to track down and see what happens. And it just goes all the fuck over the place. There's no rhyme or reason to the plot at all. I mean, just stuff happens, right? And that's how I can describe it. It's just, how does Colin Trevorrow have a career? How does Colin Trevorrow have a career?
Kevin Smith had a great quote once of, in Hollywood, you fail upward.
I guess, man. I just, the one thing that I've ever liked about Colin Trevorrow is this one interview he gave about Jurassic World where he was like, oh, my son came to me and was like, Jurassic World is my favorite movie, Dad. And I was just like, oh, son, no, it shouldn't be. I'm like, you're damn right it should be. But I got to admit, Dragon, my favorite movie of Colin Trevorrow's is Book of Henry, because at least Book of Henry is entertaining and how batshit it is. Oh, fuck. And I just remembered he's going to come back for the next Jurassic World. Well, there goes my excitement for that.
They're bringing all the cast back.
I know.
Yeah. You can't say no to it.
Right, you're evil. You're evil. It's just gonna be Jurassic World all over again. I'm gonna get hyped, and then I'm gonna get let down.
But you don't know for sure.
At least I wasn't hyped for Fallen Kingdom. At least I wasn't hyped
for sure.
Fuck you. All right. So clearly I'm not a fan of this. I don't really think this is indie trash, man. It's indie trash. I know this movie's got a fan base. I genuinely apologize if you like it. Like I said, I'm a fan of Sorry to Bother You, but I really understand why people don't like that movie. So I hope people can kind of see this the same way.
Sorry to Bother You gets just crazy in the end. Okay, next movie.
Yes, it does, and so does this.
Okay, Phil Spector.
Oh, yes. That's a name that has some connotations to it.
Yeah, so I watched this for two reasons. One, I've been on a Pacino kick lately, again, thanks to Hunters. And
You know, I'm definitely going to check out Hunters because I'm on a boys. I'm vibing with the boys right now.
yeah,
So I think if any month is my month to watch Hunters, it's going to be this month.
I sure hope so.
All right. Anyways,
So the other reason is we talked on the anime Batcave, we did Baby Doll, and I learned a really surprising fact in the making of Baby Doll that Paul Dini knew the victim in the Phil Spector trial. He knew the
right.
young lady who was killed. So that's the thing. So basically, the Phil Spector. This is a movie that was made for HBO before an HBO Max existed, way back when HBO had movies. That were just HBO movies. So David Mamet, the great playwright, he wrote and directed this. And of course, here's the thing: this movie is weird, man. I was disappointed by this thing. Yeah, I would not recommend this to anyone.
Oh, wow.
I'm surprised that David Mamet would let people down like that too. Because I hear usually he's really good. So basically, Phil Spector, Al Pacino. It's based on that story, and there's a disclaimer at the start of the movie that says essentially this is not. They're saying it's not based on true story, but it's a drama inspired by the event. Which what? What does that even mean?
Oh God! Oh man!
So it starts
Oh,
off
God.
like that, and it's basically. I think the idea is he wanted to interpret what happened behind the scenes of the trial, which is basically, I guess that's what the movie is. Long story short, there's not a lot here. It's Al Pacino and Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren is his attorney. Is the first attorney Phil Spector had in his 2-part trial because he got a mistrial essentially. That's what happens. Again, I was very let down by it. Basically, the whole thing is it's not about the trial at all. Like you get to the trial by the very end, and it's like, hey, Phil Spector comes in with crazy hair.
Wow.
That's I swear to you, that's what the whole movie is. He comes into the trial, and that's like Helen Mirren's like, we're like, oh god, he's not taking this seriously. That's the movie.
Okay.
It's. I mean, the performances aren't bad. There's no substance at all. I know David Mamet was thinking he's crazy. Okay.
Right. Well then, that sounds like a throwback to like those weird made-for-TV, quote unquote biopics, for lack of a better term, about like, people like Scott Peterson and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the whole Lacey Peterson thing.
Right, yeah. Anyways,
all right. Lastly, this is one I would recommend to you. This film is not.
I've seen it.
I wish you would have mentioned that when I sent you the list, but okay. This film is not yet rated. Yeah, but because you see, this is a very solid documentary on the MPA. I've been meaning to watch this for a while, and I found it was just on YouTube. So I was like, oh my god, serendipity. I'll take it. So yeah, it's a little dated, but still valid. Absolutely valid. This is done by Kirby Dick.
I like this one a lot. My one issue with it is that it kind of repeats the same point a lot.
That's true, but at least we get different perspectives from different filmmakers. That's kind of cool. But I hear you. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of. But again, how much really can you reinvent the wheel? Like the MPA, they make no sense. But you have to outline the different ways that make no sense. So, yeah.
Sure.
Also, I don't know if you like this Tiki, Kirby Dick, he's got a new movie out. It's on HBO Max. It's an HBO Max documentary. It's called On the Record.
Okay.
You can find it on YouTube, by the way, folks. If you don't have HBO Max, they put a few things like pilots and a few documentaries on the HBO Max YouTube channel. You can actually watch it for free. So you might do that eventually.
Cool. Nice.
So yeah, basically, of course, we explore, basically this guy explores taboo subjects and everything, and abuse of power and sexuality. That's kind of the guy's style. Anyway, so you have some great testimonials from Kevin Smith and John Waters and the Trey Stone and Stone and Trey Parker.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker, yeah.
Yeah, Jack Valenti. Of course, I love Jack Valenti because of Freakazoid, when he explains the whole rating system in Freakazoid, which is wonderful. So, of course, whenever he kind of popped up as the white whale of the piece, that was quite good. And it's an interesting subplot about this whole PI trying to track down the members of the MPA board. A little weird, but it's interesting. But yeah, they got a good time with it. It was rather informative. Nothing we didn't really know already, but it was at the time would have served me better. I don't know. It was nice. Okay, so best and worst. We're at the end, collectively.
All right. Well, you know what my worst is going to be. Come on. Safety not guaranteed. I mean, I got to be honest with you, Dragon. If it wasn't for safety not guaranteed, I'd have a very hard time picking a worst. I mean, I don't know. Like, honestly, I have no good option for worst. Like, The Five Bloods was probably the one I was the least invested in, but even still, I was pretty invested in. Yeah, I don't. Oh no, I'm sorry. The worst would be Phineas and Ferb. But
But again, thankfully,
obviously,
we don't have to say that. We can just say,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
guaranteed.
Okay, but best man, it's a toss up. I mean, I gotta go. I gotta go. Happy, happy, joy, joy. But I mean, it really. There's a lot of good stuff this month, though.
I know there is. That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised you didn't go with. Obviously, I think. Look, for me, best is also happy, happy, joy, joy. But for you, I'm surprised you didn't go with class action. That was also really good.
I consider going with class action, but I don't know. Maybe if I know the opening was intentional, but maybe if the opening grabbed me a little more, I would have went with class action. Whereas the opening of Happy Happy Joy Joy just grabs you by the balls and doesn't let go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely, sir.
But
So I mean, again, best happy, happy, joy, joy. Maybe outside of that, I mean, probably Richard Jewell. If not, I don't know. One of them, one and only album is also really good. So, but to be fair, best against Richard Jewell or Happy Happy Joy Joy was easily Happy Happy Joy Joy. Worst, very easy choice. It's so funny. We'll take one bad movie.
yeah, right.
Yeah, well, Project Power is fine, but one that's just really bad and disappointing. Phil Spector.
That sounds genuinely awful from how you describe it.
It was just because, again, I wanted to learn about the animated series thing we did.
Right, right. Yeah.
Put it on my radar. I've been loving.
Sounds like
Pacino.
It would make a better documentary.
I know, that's the thing. I can only find the biopic. It's anyway. So it was not good. Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, folks, we've waxed on long enough. It's time to put the pen down. Until next time, when we return for another fitting chapter in our
Movie Memoirs!
Movie Memoirs! Proud of your boy.